Ooh, I don't need my iPad.
Not yet. We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
We are live. Hope you guys can hear us in the chat. If
Trying
not,
to get multiple things going at once because AJ likes that. So I feel like this is so dumb. Crooked. Messed up. Whatever. All right. Are you not live yet over there? Doing multiple things at once?
I don't know what's happening. Because usually when I start lives, like right off the bat, there's like 400 people.
Yeah, it takes time for them to join. It's got to inform them that we are going live.
Let's try it.
So I need to straighten my shit out anyways. What's up, guys? We are going live for the love languages on YouTube. Is it buffering? Oh, you know what? I bet it's because I'm connected to the internet. That should fix the buffering.
Okay.
Because, I can't live stream and do this at the same time because of my shitty internet. Do you have your shit connected to the internet still? Because that will affect our YouTube. Just disconnect from the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Alright, so we're getting ready to go live on YouTube. I mean, technically we already are live on YouTube. We are going to be doing the fourth love language.
Fourth, active service.
Active service, yep. So we're going to do a little bit of house cleaning here. I'll keep you guys on here, and then when we get ready to go into the actual love language, I'm going to kill the TikTok feed, and you guys can join me over there. I mean, it'd be smart for you to just go join us there now, because you're going to hear us better anyways, but, that's your decision. To be better on YouTube. All right. Should I hit the music? Should I just
I don't. Why not?
So it is Thursday, April 20th. For all my smokers out there who took the time out of your holiday to enjoy your evening with us, we greatly appreciate it.
We're gonna spend it together, guys.
Peach is over there in her brand new velour onesie. Feels like she's wearing crushed suede.
My vape's dead.
Oh no! It's the end of the world as we know it.
I'm gonna go get a gummy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
That means you're just going to walk through all of this?
Yeah. Go get a nice bottling of my new onesie. Pardon me. Ooh.
Well, this is off to a boring start. I wish I could see the chat in my TikTok so I could actually answer you guys, because you guys are really just fucking chatting it up in there. I can hear the phone shit through my microphone.
Yeah.
That makes me very uncomfortable.
Okay.
Do you hear that?
Ooh.
Is that... It's me.
Is it the iPad?
I don't know what that is, but that should not be making that noise. Dude, people are sending gifts. What's going on over here? Crazy. This is actually making noise in my headphones, and I can't go live and listen to this at the same time. So for all of you that are here right now, please go to Be Better on YouTube and watch us there so that I can shut this off and actually listen to this. You have made my life better, 100%. I didn't do that, you did that. We just provided you the tools with it. YouTube, Be Better.
So if you guys didn't hear that, we are currently live on YouTube.
That was absolutely my phone.
To Be Better. We're gonna nix this live here in a couple of minutes, so if you don't want to miss the rest of the fourth love language, we're doing acts of service tonight. Go to our YouTube channel.
That was my phone. Or me. I don't know what's going on. I just want to smash it to be like, stop it. All right, so some house cleaning before we get into this.
Okay.
Sorry everybody on YouTube that just had to witness all this stupidity. We are a 2-man operation right now because there's nobody behind the screens to do the stuff that we need them to do. And until we get the new room set up, which we are working on, which is part of the house cleaning, we are making the active decision to set up the red room. You dirty, filthy people, get that out of your head. It's not the red room. It is going to be the black room moving forward because we are painting it black and doing black and white, very minimalistic, modern art.
What's the red room?
It's 50 Shades of Grey, from what I understand. That's what I was told last time we made a red room joke. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, blah, 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 50 Shades." I didn't read the shit, so
never read it or seen it.
But we have pulled everything out of that room, removed the slat wall off of it, pulled the treadmill out of there, got all the foam out of there, did everything that we needed to do to get it painted. Painter's coming in on Monday. I've ordered a new road mixer. I've ordered new microphones. We've ordered new furniture. We are going to set it up with actual lights, using aperture lights for video, like steady lights. And we are going to be doing 2 setups in there. One will be a live stream reaction area where we can sit down and like make Zoom calls and do everything from a computer, just in case we ever get into coaching and doing that kind of thing. And the other thing will be we're doing the opposite. We're doing white chairs instead of black.
Yes.
And excuse me, we have a black wall. We have to figure out our prints and how we're going to do all that, but we're going to end up setting up similar to this, except for we're going to be shooting in a corner. Mm-hmm. And we plan on doing the podcast, the live streams, and the side piece and the side show between the 3 spaces, so we have a different location every single place we go.
So fancy.
So you guys get to hear that first, because even though we recorded about it today in episode 19, you were here hanging out with us, so you get to hear it first. We are almost out of t-shirts. The blah, blah, blah shirts are almost completely gone. The have you checked in lately shirts are still kind of there. We are probably going to wait another 3 weeks to a month before we do another shirt run, but it will be different. So if you want to get on the very first original To Be Better shirts, you can get those from tobebetter.co. We are making changes to the way that we record in terms of content. We are definitely changing the sideshow from emails to something else. We have talked about doing book, like what we're doing now, but for like an actual episode, and then incorporating a live stream during the middle of the week, like on a Wednesday afternoon or something.
Yeah.
Patreon emails will no longer be just Patreon content. Unless it says Patreon only, we will maybe put that on YouTube when we read it. That way we can still give Patreon priority emails, but we can do other things on Patreon, whether it's a reaction video or we just sit down and talk about our hobbies or talk about our life, cooking videos, or whatever it is that we decide to do going forward. We can do that.
Yeah.
But we also will not be giving super priority to Patreon subscribers just because you subscribe to Patreon and you expect to have your email read that first month. We're not doing that anymore. You will get put in queue and we will get to you when we get to you. But we've had a lot of people get their email read and just drop off. And we're not doing that. We're trying to build a community, not trying to just read your email. And if that's the case, then you can email us and ask us how much it'll be to just read your email. And we can go that route so that we know what we're getting, and versus having an illusion of community because we think that you're there for the long haul only to have you drop because your email is read.
Yeah. Makes me feel cheap.
It does. Yep. Like a back alley woman, just dropped off when you're done.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything else.
It's crazy. This is our life.
It is.
Right? Talking about all these changes we're doing and branching off into different things.
Did you guys see her Navage video this morning?
Ha! That was one of the most uncomfortable feelings I've ever had. Yeah. Felt violated in a weird way.
People kept saying you were waterboarding yourself.
Yeah.
That shit's funny.
Tasted like seawater in the back of my throat because I don't know how to... I can't clog it. I don't know how you. Apparently, I don't know as much about anatomy as I thought I did.
In terms of live streams, when we do these lives, we do read super chats at the end. If you send a $50 or higher super chat, it will disrupt the podcast because we will stop what we are doing. We will read your super chat, and then we will go back to doing what we're doing. In the future, we may stop that and just do like mid-show all the higher end super chats and then do the rest of them at the end so that we were not interrupting our conversation. Is TikTok still going nuts over there?
A bunch of People asking to join.
Oh.
Yeah, just did the decline.
So tonight we're doing the fourth love language, act of service. In my opinion, it is tied with the easiest to be manipulated
100%.
in terms of receiving gifts and acts of service because people can manipulate those.
So I definitely go in depth on that.
Good.
On how it can be abused. Is it me?
I don't know. I did hear it again though. I don't know. It's weird. It comes and goes. So also before we get into that, you guys, I don't know if you noticed or not, but we did new thumbnails for the love languages. We have now picked fonts. We're trying to revamp the channel to make it more us. Because when we created all this, we didn't think it was going to go anywhere. We just threw a bunch of shit together and was like, ta-da, let's go.
Yeah.
There was no thought put into anything. I mean, you can tell our very first episode was us wearing Christmas onesies as like a joke.
Yeah.
I really didn't think this was going to do anything. So now that I know that it's actually a business and it's going somewhere, like I'm actually putting the time in and changing the fonts and changing the thumbnails and like
making it look good.
Yeah, AJ and I are doing a thing, and he's got his own little shit going on over there. But
can I keep wearing the onesies?
yeah, I don't care what you wear. I just
thank God.
I personally don't want to look sloppy. I want us to look like we care about what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like I like that brush font. Personally,
Right.
when I see that, it does something for me. Like I like it. So that's why I used it. But it doesn't scream professional podcast, like clean. We know our shit. It's like graffiti, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And like, I think the logo itself, because we had that little weird tribal logo that we bought off of Fiverr. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But
Yeah.
it's not us. There's nothing there that represents us. There was nothing there that even represented To Be Better other than it saying always forward. Like I could have typed that up in Photoshop. So we got a new logo now from Jeff Graham.
I'm so excited about that.
Yep.
I might get that tattooed on me.
AJ started putting it on the clips, so it's on all of our TikTok clips now.
Hell yeah.
Because we were getting flagged for
Unoriginal content.
unoriginal content on TikTok, which is bullshit because it's our fucking content.
And it's
but-
literally my face. Are you just moving the... I thought you were getting ready to tell me something.
I thought I was, and then I changed my mind.
What was it?
That's not relevant.
And then you're going to forget and the world will never know. Specifically me, I will never know. You know, there's times I lay awake at night and I think, oh, he told me to remind him to tell me this. And it's gone.
Yep.
It will never come back.
Good thing it's not like vital to life, huh? Because that would really
It
suck.
could have been.
It could have been.
Who knows?
The world will never know.
The mysteries that keep me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to jump into that? Do you want to bullshit some more? You got some other things you want to talk about?
This onesie's really nice. It does it for my feely receptors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your autism's firing on all cylinders. Huh?
Oh yeah, doing cartwheels up there. Very nice. Very good purchase. One of the best gifts you've ever given me.
That's good because it was $170
I love it.
for a onesie.
I feel so spoiled and appreciated.
When I rub on your
Yeah.
butt when we're on the couch, it'll
really-
satisfy my texture things as well. So it's a win
Yeah.
for both of us. Have you put any thought into the photos that we're going to use in that room? Because we're going to have to go black and white, and whether or
We
not we
are.
do landscapes and print on metal and do one big print on each wall, or if we do the 4 framed photos and hang them vertical, we're going to have to take pictures if we do that.
I was thinking about doing like the queen chess piece in different positions and then like picking out my favorite one to go above me. And then, I don't know, something else for the sidewall. That shows my artistic eye, I suppose. Something micro.
The king and queen chess pieces would be kind of cool if we could find a way to photograph that.
Yeah.
We could just do chess pieces, but I don't know. Anyways, that was a good idea.
Macro. I said micro.
You did say micro. I was
Why
gonna
didn't you correct me?
Because there was no need. I knew what you meant.
This is how I got away with selling helicopter for so long. I need that kind of accountability in my life.
Well, if you were saying helicopter, like over and over again, I'd correct you. You said micro once instead of macro, and I knew what you were talking about, so I didn't need to correct it.
The first time you let it go is how it starts.
Yeah, game on. I'm just gonna let you say all kinds of weird shit now.
No, don't do this to me. Ooh, so somebody asked the best way to support us. The best way to support us is to share our content. Check out our YouTube channel, and if you want to, check out our Patreon. All of the links are in the bio.
Yep.
My bio.
Yes, they're in the bio. On YouTube, they're in the description.
Do you want to keep this going? You want me to?
AJ, should we kill TikTok before we actually start the love language, or you want us to let it ride for a minute? I don't know. He's not here.
What?
So I have that 30-second delay where I have to ask him a question and fucking stare at my screen until he replies.
Well, I don't know what to talk about. I do want to get a new tattoo.
Yeah.
I also want to get a new piercing.
I'm supposed to get tattooed on the 10th.
I don't know if I want to do like the vertical eyebrows or my bridge.
Everybody at the shop is doing that now.
What?
The vertical eyebrows. Or the eyebrow piercings. Not vertical, but the eyebrow piercings like that. And the bridge.
Never mind.
He said let it ride.
Let it ride. All right, you just want to get into
Let's
it?
just jump into it.
So, number 4, acts of service. And this is doing a physical task to make one feel loved. Doing things you know your spouse would like you to do, and you seek to please by serving your significant other. And I made a list of things that I do for you that I hope you feel loved by.
Yeah. Before you get into that list, guys, we did have a camera die on us today from a heat issue. So in the event that this live stream crashes at some point, it'll take me less than 10 minutes to get it back up and running with another camera. I have it. It's in there. Just know that there may be a moment where one of these camera dies and I have to jump and run.
Okay. I like making the bed. We've talked about this before. I have this thing of making the bed sets the tone for the day. And I've been sick and not doing it, which I kind of feel bad about.
You made the bed the last 2 days.
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Winning.
Get it, bitch. I like making the bed, and I hope that's something that kind of like you walk into the bedroom, you see the bed made, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to lay down in a nice bed. Do you get some type of...
I go in there at nighttime and I'm like, yeah. It's like climbing into a new fresh thing of sheets, you know?
Hell yeah. All right. Bank runs for you.
I appreciate that. I hate going to the bank.
Cooking dinner and bringing your plate.
I'm gonna backtrack.
Oh,
I actually
backtracking.
really like my bank.
Yeah.
There are people that work in my bank that I like a lot, and every time I go in there, I'm willing to have lots of conversations with. But there's a new guy there that makes my fucking skin crawl, and I don't know what it is about him.
I know who you're talking
I know
about.
you do.
Yeah, same.
There is something about that dude that's off, and I don't like him.
Like, if you think I'm a felon, just say it.
Or maybe he touches little children. Like, there's something about that dude that rubs me the wrong fucking way, and I don't know what it is. Everyone else at my bank is super dope. But so I do enjoy the bank runs.
The lady at our bank is like, okay, who is he talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because she listens to the podcast. It's not you.
No.
No, she's one of my favorite people at that bank. Yeah.
I enjoy interacting with her.
Yeah.
So cooking and serving your plate, one of my favorite things to do. I like taking your plate away for you too.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to get up at all and you can just relax. Keeping your palace clean.
You feel very proud of wording it that way, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. I am waiting for your response.
It's good. That was clever.
You. Okay. Dolling myself up for you.
That's one of my favorite things.
I view that as an act of service because I don't have to do that.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Because you're right, you don't.
Right. And then, of course, taking your boots off for you. It's one of my favorite things. And
yeah.
Helping you take your shirt off, shaving your head.
Shaving my head is probably one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Before I got the clippers broke, and now I got to use my normal buzzer. But the little pit bull thing that I had was intimate time because we could watch TV and you could shave my head at the same time and hair wouldn't get everywhere.
We should find another one of those.
I just have to buy another one. It was $130. I just don't want to waste the money on it.
I miss doing it. So scenario number 1. So during the dating phase, the man would come over to the woman's house and help her do whatever she needs, help her with her night studying for college, help her clean up the house, cook dinner, those kinds of things. And that's one of the reasons that she fell in love with him, is because he was willing to do things with her that other men weren't. And because of that, she was more inclined to come over to his house and do laundry for him, cook him dinners when he was stressed out. Dual acts of service between the both of them, right? So after marriage, he had this set example in his household of what a man and a woman do. So they got married and he stopped doing those things, helping around the house, cooking dinner, going with her to church. And because he stopped doing those things, the things that helped her fall in love with him, she stopped doing the things in return, like cleaning the house, making sure he has clean underwear, doing dishes, and cooking dinner. So she felt as if he was asking her to mother him. You need to keep the house clean. You need to make sure the kids are clean. Why are your shoes laying on the floor? Why haven't you put my shirts away yet? And while he's doing that, he is ignoring her love tank. So in that scenario, the dating phase is not a promise of what the marriage is going to be. Because people fall into their habits. They start showing their personality traits, their habitual habits, the things they do without even noticing. That is when that conscious, active choice to go above and beyond for your partner comes in. And that is getting over the little frustrations and getting over the arguments. And how do I want to phrase this? I don't want to say simplicity of it because it's not. It's not a simple thing to do. But once you learn it, it is simple. So in stopping doing one act of service, the other one falls off.
Well, it is for somebody whose love language is act of service.
Right.
I want to point out a couple things in that whole scenario. The life lessons that we're taught from our parents is how we view a household.
Right.
So if you have a hyper independent mom that's going to work and killing herself and doing the thing, and a stay-at-home dad, when that dude grows up, if it's a son, he grows up, he's going to view that as a normal scenario. And he might try to find a sugar mama that's going to be able to support him and take care of him while he takes care of the kids and does that life because that's what he saw growing up. So it's no different if they got a traditional relationship where the man works and the mom is a stay-at-home mom and a caretaker and like loving the kids and doing the homeschooling and, nurturer, that kind of thing. That's what the man is going to expect. So in a scenario where that kid was going over there and doing all that shit and they got married and all of that stopped, it's because they're married and he's expecting it to look like what he saw growing up.
Right. So in expecting that, who you are during the dating phase is who you are presenting to win somebody. So just because you saw something in your childhood doesn't mean that's what has to happen in your marriage.
Right.
The things that you do to win that person is what they're going to expect going into the marriage. So if you're expecting something different from marriage, that's a conversation that has to happen before marriage is even brought up.
Right. On the other side of that, also, when you have somebody that's coming over and cooking you dinner while you're doing your homework, or helping you do the dishes and clean your apartment while you're doing your homework, they're doing that to spend time with you. Because, like we talk about, the faster that gets done, the more time you have at home. So, together. So if he's cooking dinner knowing that you've got an hour of homework to do, he can bang out dinner while you do the homework. That gives you guys an extra hour of time for intimacy. Watch TV, fool around, go to dinner or go to a movie or whatever. Like you have what we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
I almost choked on my cough drop.
Oh, no.
It stuck and then it unstuck.
I'm the only one who's supposed to be doing that.
Choking on me?
We're fucking live.
We are. You started it.
I totally forgot.
You started it.
Oh, man.
If you can implement that early on and establish that as a habit and maintain it, even if it's not a love language, you are going to prolong the honeymoon phase. Because you're doing everything that you can to work together as a team to get that extra time.
Right. I wonder what the mindset is behind somebody who puts their best foot forward and goes above and beyond to win somebody. And then once they're married, that changes.
Job interview mindset.
Yeah.
How many people go into a job interview, fake it to make it, get the job, work really hard, do really good for a few months, and then fall the fuck off? Because they've got it. They're in there now. Like, why go that extra step in my... People are lazy.
That's crazy.
Why put in that extra effort if you don't have to? And for people who, and same thing, same mindset. Go ahead.
You said if they don't have to.
Right.
So when they start slacking and it's accepted, you're right. Why would they go above and beyond when the bare minimum is accepted?
AJ just said we're 5 minutes in, so that joke should pass the censored phase.
Hell yeah.
So in that same mindset, if you have that job mentality, right? If we're going to use that as a metaphor, if that's even the right word, analogy, metaphor, I don't know. You pick one. If you know that you're not going to get any more than what you've already got, and you can't move up because your marriage is your marriage, there's no point in going above and beyond. So if you're in a job scenario and you know you're not going to get a raise, why put in the extra hours and kill yourself at your job if you're going to make the same thing hour after hour regardless? People go to work. When you go to work and you have an 8-hour day, you don't work the full 8 hours.
So are you saying when there's actual incentive and bonuses, someone would work harder?
Yeah. Yeah, they would. And those bonuses could be gratitude. Hey, thanks for doing that. Hey, thanks for working and doing the things that you do. I can't take you serious right now. It's those, the dinners being made and like the no not coming home to conflict.
Little surprises.
Right.
You told me you like chocolate, so I bought you this massive assorted one. Assorted.
It was the other way around, but yes.
That was, I know. Yes.
Yes.
You did do that.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
If you fall into that stagnant, this is just what my life is, and the intimacy is gone.
That's what your life is.
That's what your life is going to be.
How unfortunate. I mean, people do that to themselves, but
They absolutely do.
I would look at people and be like, that's unfortunate.
It's a 100% a decision.
Yeah.
You want to let them know to get ready to go to YouTube and then...
All right, TikTokers. In like 2 minutes, I'm going to be cutting this off. So if you want to finish watching this, go to our YouTube channel, the number 2 Be Better. That's where we're going to be finishing it.
Yep. And while we're at it, guys, if you are watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We will be doing pop-up lives. And if that notification bell is not hit and we go live and you're sitting at home twiddling your thumbs with nothing to do and we're live, you're going to miss it.
You're going to miss all the debauchery.
Yep.
All of it.
Yep. Be there or be square.
I don't want to fuck it up.
Let's hear it.
Because you won't be around.
That's right.
Oh, I got it right. I was overthinking
You won't
it
be
too
around.
much. Yeah.
Yep.
I imagine dealing with me is sometimes like dealing with somebody from the 1800s who just got dropped here in 2023.
No.
No?
No, because you know all the technology and shit. So like,
Right, but like things I don't know, like that joke or movies.
I mean, that's like a dad joke though. That's not like a. That's not really a
It's
thing.
not like
I guess.
is it like a well-known thing? Okay.
I don't know.
So getting back to this, in that situation where both people feel unloved and you are inclined to believe that yours is acts of service, your love language, to feel loved, you need acts of service or your partner does. Sit down and ask them to write a list of 3 things that you can do to make them feel loved or to help them feel loved by you. Examples.
Sorry, I've said this over and over again. With the music thing, with the way things are said, and in my head now is how good it is to be loved by you because of what you just said, and it took everything I had not to burst out in song. Just know, maintaining.
You're doing great.
I'm great. Good
Yeah.
job. Go me.
Fantastic. So, in this scenario, his list of 3 things would be for her to make the bed every morning, to make sure that the kids are cleaned up before dinner, and to have dinner done or 30 minutes to finished by the time he gets home. Not super unreasonable things for a stay-at-home wife, right?
Right.
And her list would be to change the baby's diaper when he gets home from work, especially if she's cooking dinner, which makes sense.
Right.
Vacuuming the house once a week, not too much to ask, and to keep the lawn under control. Because that is a man's job.
So then why isn't she helping with the lawn if he's got to vacuum the house? Just saying. It's a once a week thing, right? In Florida, mowing the lawn is once a week. I'm just saying, like, you get to do it inside. I gotta push a lawnmower in the fucking heat. I don't mow the lawn, guys. I have a lawn service because it's like 1,000 degrees outside. It's like cutting the ball hair on Satan out there during the summertime. I'm good on that. I'm not doing it. Nope.
So
I'll help vacuum
there's
clean
an
me too.
exchange. If I do this, then you have to help me with this.
I get that.
So making sure the bed's made every day is not equal exchange for vacuuming once a week. No?
Nope.
Something I do 7 days a week?
I would gladly make that bed 7 days a week.
Bullshit.
Compared to vacuuming, this house is 4,000 square feet under air.
You said you would never
That
make
bed
a
is
bed.
a king size bed and it takes 3 seconds to go and walk away from it. That's not an equal exchange. That is a very poor deal. I don't know who negotiated that, but they need to fire their manager because that's bullshit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Have your people call my people. We need to renegotiate. We'll do lunch. Love the show, babe. Got a $50 super chat.
All right, go ahead.
Zeke said, great acts are made up of small deeds.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Someone should put that on a t-shirt.
You have enough t-shirts going on.
Should I end the TikTok?
Yes.
All right.
See ya, fuckers.
All right, guys. If you want to finish watching the live, go to our YouTube channel. The number 2, Be Better. See you later.
Dakota said he can still hear that humming. It's got to be your phone. I don't know.
Okay.
So weird.
Okay. With acts of service, if your partner feels the most loved when you do acts of service, it is easy to work on the wrong things. So an example is a husband who spends all day doing the yard work, pulling out decorations from the attic or storage, and chopping firewood will make his wife feel less love versus if he got pizza for dinner and came home and said, babe, you don't have to cook. Gets the kids in the bath and puts them to bed so she can decompress. The difference between those two things is, yes, the first one does help the household in general. The second one is more direct action to make her feel like, hey, I see you. I see that you're stressed. Let me help you.
So what I'm getting from that is to put the kid to bed and do the things that make her happy in the moment and don't cut firewood so she can freeze in winter and be like, ha! Besides that, we all know that there are TikTokers who make a lot of money cutting firewood. And if she doesn't appreciate you cutting firewood, fellas, there's a problem. You can give me the steak eye all you want. You said this was going to be the shortest one, so I'm trying to prolong it with stupidity. I hope it's working.
It is, yes, definitely, because I have no idea what to say to you. So, I can see that mindset. I understand. I might not agree, but I get it. Long term, how often does a man go out of his way to say, babe, I got dinner covered. You don't have to cook tonight?
I DoorDash a lot.
Right. You're the exception.
Well, you said you asked me. I don't know. I'm not like normal men.
Right. We need normal men.
I love that you cook and you do all that shit, but in the event that you were like, hey, I'm super stressed out and the kids are here and all that shit's going off and we were broke and I had to kung fu the kitchen, I could kung fu the kitchen.
Yeah.
I can cook like a motherfucker. You give me a bag of ramen and some random shit, I can prison make a meal real fucking fast.
Could you make me ramen?
Yeah, I could in the
We
microwave.
have ramen.
Yeah, all I need is some cheesy puffs, like some Cheetos.
Okay.
Or like the puffy ones. Yes, I can make you a prison meal in minutes.
Okay, so we need an Instacart after this.
Why? We have all that shit.
We
We
don't
have
have
the cheesy
cheesy
puffs.
puffs.
You don't want to eat that.
I do.
You don't. You really don't.
I do. I want to have an experience.
You want to watch Orange is the New Black while eating some prison ramens? Is that what we're going for?
Why did you just out me like this? You know what? I'm going to shamelessly say yes. I do want to do that. I do. Because I will never in my life really get to experience that because I am a good noodle and I am deathly terrified of the law.
Well, if you eat ramen, that's cannibalism.
Excuse me?
You just said you're a good noodle. So now you want to eat your kind? You fucking weirdo.
Oh my God. Says the man who drinks ginger ale.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were saying.
I don't either. Just derailed super hard. You shouldn't have told me that this was going to be a fast love language because otherwise I'd have sat here and let you do your thing. Now I'm picking apart everything.
I mean, I
just
love it.
to prolong the experience.
Keep going because I'm not expecting it. And it's
Okay.
like, I'm not angry or frustrated. I'm like, oh my God, he's really doing it. He's making me really think about things. 3 things to remember. What happens in the dating phase is not a promise to what marriage will be. Like I said previously, just restating. The second is love is always a choice and cannot be coerced. And for those of you who don't know the definition of coerced, I got you. It is to persuade an unwilling person to do something by force, or threats. I really have a hard time with my R's.
Yeah.
Thought I was over this. And number 3, a significant other's criticisms about your behavior is the biggest clue on how to love them. And criticisms need clarification. So if your partner is constantly complaining that you work too much, ask them, why do you feel I work too much? Then you'll start getting to that underlining root of, well, you're never home. Why does it bother you that I'm never home? Because I feel like we don't spend time together. Okay, are you saying you miss me? Yeah, I do. I miss you.
So I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Okay.
But wouldn't it be more beneficial for you to figure that shit out before you bring that shit to your partner?
I mean, sometimes people don't even realize that they can have that train of thought.
They should, though.
Right, but not everybody does.
Right. So when you start getting angry with your partner, instead of blowing up and losing control and reacting to a situation, wouldn't it make sense to sit down and evaluate what's going on in your mind before you do that? So that you can have a simple, easy conversation, figure out your bullshit, and just have a nice, easy conversation to fix the problem? Because telling your partner, I miss you and wish I could spend more time with you, is a lot different than you fucking work too much and you're never home.
Right, but if they've never had conversations like that, they don't even know how to have that conversation. So that first initial, why are you criticizing, and doing that train of thought, then you can point out, okay, so the bottom root is you miss me. So the way that we just went through that whole process, that's what you need to do. That way, when you come to me, we don't have arguments, we just have discussions.
Right. I see your point.
I'm
also
also
just
see
saying
yours.
that people should be better and should process their shit before bringing some nonsense to their partner.
Right, I agree.
If you can't figure out what you're really upset about or angry about, you shouldn't go and try to start an argument. Mm-hmm. You can even start the conversation with, look, I'm feeling kind of fucked up and I don't know why. And this is the start of how I can articulate this, but I don't understand why I feel the way I feel. That's a very different conversation than you fucking work too much and you're never home.
Right. My neck is cold. Ooh. This is nice.
Everyone in the comments is saying beneficial.
No.
My friend April in
like
California is watching, and she said Alf would be proud, and I don't understand why she said that.
Alf?
Alf from the 80s TV show.
I don't know.
All I remember from that is that he ate cats.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She also said that like 15 minutes ago, but this is the first like dead space that we've had that I can mention it.
Yeah. So I wrote a bunch of examples of how criticism needs clarification.
Okay.
The first one is the house is never clean. So if your woman is complaining, "Oh, I can't do it. It makes it echoey. Got to figure out how to make this work. Okay. So if your woman is complaining that the house is never clean, the criticism there is she feels overwhelmed. and nobody helps her. Should she be able to just say that? Yes. Examples. Second one is you work too much, which we just spoke about. This one is never acceptable to say in the heat of the moment just to make your partner hurt, and that is you're unattractive. But people say that just to hurt feelings. And when a man tells that to a woman, that could be, he could feel less loved because of all the effort you put towards the relationship in the beginning. Like you would get dolled up when you would see him, you would go on a date to make sure you look nice. And now you're just walking around the house in sweatpants and a baggy t-shirt with your hair in a bun. And you haven't put on makeup in 6 months. Not saying that it is okay for someone to tell that to somebody, but that could be the underlining.
I don't get that mindset.
I don't either.
I mean, I don't get telling your partner that you're unattractive. Like I can understand if like you've become ugly as a person internally and having that conversation, or like maybe you've put on 50 pounds and you're like, hey, like we need to start exercising, to be polite about it, kind of thing. But to tell somebody who's walking around in comfortable clothing with their hair in a messy bun that she's not attractive, like
it's fucked up.
Fellas, if you're in the chat right now, isn't that like the time that you're most attracted to your woman?
That natural beauty.
Dude, I'm telling you, when your hair's in a messy bun and you're like wearing my sweatpants and like I can see the belly of like sticking out from the bottom of a shirt that's probably too small for you to be wearing out in public, but you just wear it around the house because it's your favorite shirt. Mm-hmm. Am I fucking wrong, guys? Like, don't get me wrong. Getting dolled up and shit when we go out in public is super dope if you're putting your makeup on, but that messy look is a thing.
That's a man.
If you were walking around in sweatpants and a hoodie and I couldn't see the female form, I would feel like I was living with my brother, even though I don't have one, but like, there'd be like, hey bro, we're out of milk.
That made me uncomfortable.
Right. Well, that's how I would view that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got your hood up, fucking walking around the house, moping with your hands in your fucking sweater, looking like a dude. They fucking high five you on the way to bed. Like,
stop.
That's not, you know what I mean? But like beyond that.
Right.
I don't know. Why are you looking at me like that?
You make me feel good.
The edible hitting you?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Don't remember where I was going with all of that.
We were reading the things.
Right, but I was going somewhere with my point. I don't remember.
Oh.
How unfortunate.
Is it because I called you bro and said I'd had 5 you on the way to bed?
It was a lot of things. It was an amalgamation.
We were talking about the girls not getting done up and people saying that their partner's unattractive.
Okay, so a man should never say that to a woman, and he should never throw her under the bus for being comfy in her own home. It's bullshit. If a man misses his woman getting dolled up and wants to have like that nostalgic moment of going out on a date, just tell her that. Say, babe, I really like it when you do your makeup. It makes me think of when we were dating. Can we go do something tonight? That's a whole lot better way of saying that versus, I don't find you attractive anymore.
That's scrub status, guys. It'll work. It will absolutely work, but that's like the low rung of the totem pole on how that gets done.
What do you mean?
The way that you just described that.
Now let's hear you say it. From a man. Let's go.
So I would first and foremost, I would find something to do, whether it's going to a musical or find like a high-end restaurant somewhere out of our city that would require us to be in the car for at least an hour. And then I would put money in your bank account and be like, I just put $300 in your account. I want you to get a dress. I want you to get new shoes if that's what you want to do. We have something planned on this night. I need you to get done up. I want you to look like arm candy. I have a surprise. That's as far as that would go. That would be the entire conversation. Would that work?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Killing a whole bunch of birds with that.
Yes, daddy. Done.
That's how that works. Why? You don't even need to have a conversation about it.
Right. That would do it. Wow.
It's not simple to pay attention to the things that your partner enjoys and make fucking time to do it.
You mean you said it's not simple.
I meant to say it's not hard.
Okay. I think you meant to say it's not hard and it's simple at the same time.
Maybe. I don't know. I was realizing as I was speaking that because my thing is quality time, I'm going to tie that into everything that we can do so that I get the quality time while still trying to make amends and fix what's going on.
I love that we have the same love language.
It makes things real easy.
Makes it so easy.
Yep.
All right. Next section is called doormat or spouse.
DoorDash or pizza. Sorry. I was trying to think of something that rhymes with spouse or like was going to play off that, and I had
Right,
nothing, so I
no.
just DoorDash to the house. I don't know. Finger guns. I got nothing. I tried. Hey, give me a D there. Like, not quite a failure, but that was not my best effort.
I would say a D plus.
D plus.
Yeah.
All right. The special needs D, guys.
Stop. So, a doormat, as everybody knows, is an inanimate object. That is something people wipe their shoes on. They step in dog shit. They're wiping their foot off on that doormat. That's something they kick around, that they throw outside and let rain and shit happen to it. Like, it is something that people have very little regard for. So, when people think of acts of service and they want to demonize it, that's what they think of. That I'm going to be treated less than, like I'm going to be treated like an object, like I'm a slave. And there are a couple of ways to manipulate this love language. And the first one is manipulation by guilt. So if you say, if you loved me, you would do this, that is manipulation. If you say, well, you've always made it happen, I don't understand why it's different this time. Why won't you do this for me? That's manipulation. If you say, if you were a good husband or if you were a good wife, you would do this, manipulation. And then there's coercion by fear. Do this or you'll regret it. Or if you don't do this, I'll leave you. So when you start throwing in threats of, I'm going to hurt myself if you leave me, that is coercion by fear.
I'm going to pause you before you move on because
Okay.
you were just about to start reading notes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That guilt trip mindset does not work for me.
No.
If I was in a relationship with somebody and they were like, well, I'll just leave, I would open the door and hold it for them and be like, are you sure? Because it's open. There's nothing holding you here. You're more than welcome to leave. Mm-hmm. I will never allow somebody to try to manipulate me with that bullshit. I'm just not.
Right.
The other part of that, if you leave, I'll hurt myself nonsense. I'm a cold-hearted motherfucker. Like, I'm going to say some hurtful shit as I leave. I'm not playing that.
Right.
And like we talked about this earlier, you had an ex that sent you photos of his arm cut.
Yeah.
I'd have called the cops and been like, hey, my boyfriend's threatening to kill himself right now. His address is 123 Main Street. He's bleeding. He sent me photos of him cutting his arm, and it's deep. I'm so worried about him. I don't know what to do. I'd have fucking played that up. Motherfucker would have got Baker acted. He'd have had himself a little 3-day stay in a nice little comfy room with nothing but a fucking paper sheet.
Yeah.
And when he got out, I'd have been like, you want to try that again? Next time, go down the road, not across the street, you fucking scrub. I'm ruining lives.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
That's aggressive.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
My mom
that
is
manipulation.
Yep.
That's fucked up
Yeah.
because people will go to any length to keep somebody that they love alive,
Yep.
even if it means putting them in uncomfortable positions or life-threatening positions.
right, and it doesn't mean that they're in love with you either. It
Right.
could just be somebody that they don't want to see get hurt. Yep. I was going to get into a past story, but I'm not going to do that now.
Okay.
I'd rather keep that. I'm really glad that I caught myself.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
good.
We're live.
We are live, yeah. Did you forget for a
I
moment?
did. Yep.
Okay.
About to get real fucking personal. AJ, how are we doing in the chat? What do we got going on? Where are we at? Numbers. Send me some stuffs.
I see 479.
Oh, you can see that from there?
Yeah, the glasses help a lot.
It's also a 32-inch TV, so
Yeah, no, I can't see that.
no.
No, it's just blurry numbers. Wow, my eyesight is bad. Huh. Another complaint for when I leave this thing? Not a complaint, just more of constructive criticism. I don't think my eyes should fail me.
Can you push that button?
Push.
The focus on my camera.
Oh, God, I have to move.
Just got a new patron.
So much is happening.
Dope. Thank you. Good call, AJ.
Moving is so uncomfortable when my face hurts. Okay, this is the last part of it. So we are humans. We are creatures of thought, desires, and emotions. We all have the ability to make decisions. And in your ability to make decisions means everything in your life is a choice. Allowing yourself to be manipulated.
Manipulated.
I really had a groove going. And I was cruising. And I said manipulated. Allowing yourself to be manipulated by another person, you are allowing him or her to develop inhumane habits. You are showing them that they can get away with treating another human being like this. It might not be you forever. They could move on to another person and then another person. And there's just going to be a string of damage because you didn't stand up for yourself and set a standard. If everybody in society set a standard of you will not raise your voice at me, there would be less domestic violence. Like, think about that.
Well, yeah, because things would never get to the point of escalating past that.
Right. And it's because people just lower their standards because they have a low self-worth. They don't think they deserve better. Why? Why do you feel that way? And I'm genuinely asking because every human being has self-worth, has a level of respect that they should not dip below. It makes me sad.
Yeah. We just got like 4 patrons in a row.
Crazy.
And a super chat.
No way.
Yep. From KN66. Y'all are adorable. Love your channel. My hubs and I live the same as you. Same as you teach. 19 years and very happy. We still date and I am still his girlfriend and he is my best man. People can really learn from what you're teaching. Keep up the good work. We had an email come through the other day. Was it episode 18? Or was it a filler episode? Where the chick said that her boyfriend or her husband, when they were going through it in the beginning, said that your girlfriend can't be your best friend.
I think that was a side episode. Yeah. He said best friends can't be girlfriends.
Yeah. This chick's been married for 19 years and very happy and they still date.
Yep.
Want to bet? Proof.
Right there, yep.
KKN66 is proof that person's wrong.
19 years.
19 years.
That's crazy.
Yep. One more year, you got a life sentence under your belt.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
That's funny.
We should throw like... no, it might be too taboo. Never mind. I should never be a party planner. So learning acts of service, like do research on it. It is going to force you to reevaluate the societal standards or the society perception and stereotypes of what it is. Because it is not being forced to do something that you hate every day just to make somebody feel appeased in their life. It is, oh my God, why am I getting emotional?
I have no idea.
It's because I love you and I love doing things for you. And the fact that people view me as a slave, it sucks. Being called a gender traitor because I like taking your boots off as an expression of my love for you, like that hurts. Just look into it. Now say something because I don't want to cry on camera for the 50th time.
So you don't cry on camera.
You're so helpful. Thank you. You really got the attention off of me.
Yeah. You were talking about control in there. Mm-hmm. And I obviously don't have it on my iPad because I wrote it on my computer, but we talked pretty hard about the control thing and about how when you stop looking at everything as like white or black and stop playing the victim and start looking at everything as like accountability and the choices you make and things like that. It eliminates a lot of that control mechanism because you realize that when somebody tries to force you to do something, you have a decision to make. And that decision is either to obey or not. And if you feel like somebody's trying to control you and you're able to step back and be like, get fucked. It's a very different scenario than you submitting and just allowing that manipulation to happen over and over and over again. Right. Because unless somebody physically makes you do something like put your hands behind your back and make your elbows touch physically by like, nobody can make you do anything. You have to make the decision to do shit. So that idea of control for me after reading that choice theory book has gone out the window. Yeah. I just don't believe that's a thing anymore. I believe that people can be manipulated, and I certainly believe that there are people who are foolish-minded or weak-minded that allows that shit to happen.
I agree with that.
But I have a whole new understanding of the way things work. And that the way that they describe that in that book is simply by a phone. When your cell phone rings, you don't answer the phone because it's ringing. You answer the phone because somebody on the other end of it may want to talk to you. And that knowledge of knowing somebody's there is what's making you answer the phone. Because when your phone's not ringing and you know no one's on the phone, you're not picking your phone up and saying hello. It's not the ring that does it. It's the knowledge of knowing that there could be somebody on the other end that wants to talk to you. And then you have a decision to make of do you want to talk to them or not. Mm-hmm. So the control aspect of that, like, we need to do those books.
Yeah, I have them sitting over here. I think I'm going to put the one I'm reading on hold.
Yeah, that's a good book. That's a good book. It teaches you things. Don't Split the Change is a good book. Mm-hmm. I read that like a year ago or 2 years ago. That choice theory, I'm getting a lot more value out of that in terms of what we do than I did out of that. I'm
getting a lot out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Applying it to emotional situations and relationships, it's pretty crazy.
Like what?
So.
When we're talking about don't split the difference.
Right. Don't split the difference. He was talking about how there's two thought processes in the brain. The first one's emotional and the second one's logical. And the first one will always influence the second one.
Right.
So your perceptions of things will always affect your logical thinking. So when you're in a conversation with your partner, if you phrase something one way and it alerts their system to get defensive, their logical reasoning is you're going to be attacking them.
Right.
So you have to work on tone and you have to work on phrasing. So don't use you statements. Using the I statements is going to trigger a good emotional reaction and lead to a more logical thought process, which is what you're looking to do.
Yeah, basic communication things. That's also why they tell you not to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Mm-hmm. Like when you want to say something, stop and like process it and like find a new way to formulate it, because 90% of the time the first thing you say is fucking stupid. So they tell you to stop and think before you speak, kind of thing. That was a fast love language. That was 50 minutes.
I told you.
And there was a whole lot of stupidity that went on. So realistically, it was probably like 30. I don't understand the acts of service as a love language.
Why?
Because I don't need people to do shit for me to make me feel loved. I was on my own for so fucking long in life that like I'm just used to doing shit. The fact that you do shit for me is super dope. I love it. But if you didn't do that, it wouldn't make me feel loved or less loved. You know what I mean? Like you doing the things that you do, like the taking the boots off and the making the dinners and keeping the house together and things like that. Those are, I understand that it is an act of service. I do realize that. But it's an intimate thing for me, and the intimacy of it is what does it, not the service thing. So for people who just want people to do shit for them and say that it's for their love meter, I guess I don't know. I guess I'm hung up more on that as a manipulation thing than I am the gift giving, because I have a better understanding of gift giving now. Because if I can pick a rock or a stick up off the ground and go, yeah, I was thinking about you, and you're like, oh, sweet.
Right.
It's different than me going, well, if you really love me, you do the dishes. Like I just really see how that could be.
Yeah, that's definitely manipulation. So one way I'm going to try to say this for you to understand is I had a bunch of things and now they're just gone. It went from being such a luscious rainforest in my mind to just pure desert with the cracked ground.
Wow. Death Valley, just like that, huh?
Yep.
I think for me, the reason that I enjoy the things that you do with the acts of service is because you want to do them.
Right.
It's not a I need you to do those things. If you didn't do them, it wouldn't faze me one way or another. I enjoy them, but I know that you enjoy doing it, and you enjoy doing it is what makes me appreciate it so much. It's like the making my plate thing. You doing that shows me that I am first in the house.
Right.
There's symbolism behind it. So like I get something different from that than I do from you taking my boots off. And when you take my boots off, that's an intimate moment with us. Like you are kneeling in front of me in a form of submission. Like I see that very differently than you bringing me my dinner plate or thanking me when I go to work. You know what I mean? Like I get something different from all of those things, but none of it has to do with the service. It has to do with the intent behind it.
Right.
So another patron.
Crazy.
So how does that work then? So for you guys who have acts of service as your receiving love, because there were descriptions in there where like a woman wants her man to vacuum the house.
Mm-hmm. It shows that they care enough to actually lighten the load. Like they hear that you're overwhelmed. They hear that you're stressed. They hear that you doing the laundry once a week is going to allow them to have like an hour of self-care during the week.
Okay, so then let's look at it this way. Let's say that you got a man of substance, right?
Right.
Which you did. Okay, let's say I never fired the maid. Because before you moved in here, I had a fucking maid that came and cleaned the house. Well, she wasn't a maid. She was actually my friend who had a cleaning service. And I think calling her maid is probably derogatory. So Sierra, if you hear this, I apologize. I have a lot of respect for you as a person, so I don't want you to think that I'm talking down on you. And I don't know if you'll even hear this or not, but in the event that you do, I apologize. I was not trying to be derogatory towards you. She was a fucking gangster when it came to keeping my house clean. Mm-hmm. So in the event that you moved in and we continued to have her clean the house and she continued her business and all of that was still happening, how is your love meter going to get full if are you going to fall in love with the cleaning lady now? Like,
no.
Are you guys going to start doing a thing because I don't vacuum? Like, the house is clean. So at that point, how does that work? You have all the self-care time that you need. What am I going to have to do now? Like, do I have to start polishing your shoes? Like,
I need you to pause. You're hitting me with a lot right now. Let's slow down a little bit. So.
Those are valid questions.
Yes.
Okay.
There's just a lot of them all in one go, and I am not at the brain capacity.
Edibles for the win.
So let's just go down the line. First point. How does it work if a maid is hired? For who? For the person who's giving the act of service or the person receiving the act of service?
In this scenario where the woman wants the man to vacuum,
right,
he's not the one doing it. He's paying somebody else to do it. So is she going to fall in love with the cleaning lady?
No, she's probably going to get pissed off at the fact that he paid somebody $60 to come in and vacuum one night a week.
I mean, it was a lot more than that to clean my house. But
right.
Aside from that, but why? Why would that matter? Because you said that she needs the self-care time and she has more time to do for her.
It is the act from the person who says that loves them. I'm telling you how to love me. You're avoiding doing the act of love and pawning it off to somebody else because you don't love me enough to do it yourself.
No, man, it's work smarter, not harder. If I can pay somebody to keep the house clean and we can go on dates 3 nights a week,
I am so glad my love language is not acts of service.
Well, I want to know. If there's people in the chat right now whose love language is act of service and you want your man to clean the fucking house or your woman to clean the house is your love language, if they have the financial means to pay somebody to clean your fucking house and your house is clean, do you still feel the act of service? And if not, how do they make up for that? Because if that was your love language, I would fail fucking miserably.
Right.
Because I would have a cleaning service and this bitch once a week cleaning the fucking house. I'm not doing it. I got too much shit going on to have to worry about having to clean this house.
Right.
So at that point, what do I need to do to fill your love meter with acts of service?
I don't think there would be a way to do that.
Zeke said, wouldn't the cleaning lady be a gift? So that would be a receiving gifts, maybe.
Right, but that's not acts of service.
Yeah.
If their main love language is acts of service, it just wouldn't work.
Do you know how much extra playtime we would have, sexy time, if there was no cleaning?
Okay,
would the act of service be laying the dick down, knowing that the house is clean and that you don't have to worry about it? Like,
no.
This is bullshit. I would fail miserably at this.
So what if there was like a negotiation? Okay, you don't want to vacuum once a week. How about you do the dishes 2 times a week after I'm done cooking dinner? It only takes 10 minutes.
I have a dishwasher, no problem.
That would work. Load the dishwasher. Do the dishwasher twice a week instead of vacuuming once a week.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't.
Does
see
that
it.
make sense?
No, it doesn't. How can me loading the dishwasher make you feel loved?
Because that's taking something off of my to-do list.
So then it's not about the other person doing. I need to talk to the guy that wrote this fucking book. I don't get this because in that scenario, it's not doing anything intimate. All I'm doing is giving you the ability to have extra time for yourself for self-care or whatever it is that you want to do.
Or it could be time together.
Right. So then, okay. So that's your major love language, right? Let's say that we're like Uncle Phil, rich, right?
Who's Uncle Phil?
Oh God, I'm old. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh,
and we have a Joffrey that can walk around and clean and do all the stuff that the butler does.
Right.
How am I supposed to satiate your love language when I got Joffrey here? Are you fucking the butler now?
Oh my God.
So regardless of me trying to be funny, how does that work in terms of you?
I'm processing.
How do you serve that besides the act of cleaning and doing the house? Because those were all the examples he gave. Because I got to be honest, if Aunt Viv was fucking Joffrey, I'd be a little pissed off.
So
Joffrey? I don't remember.
If we had somebody cleaning the house, right? In this scenario, there's a butler cleaning the house. I'm assuming we would take care of our plates after we're done eating. Right? Like someone who comes and cleans the house, but isn't there for dinner.
Right, but that's not a butler. That's a cleaning lady.
Okay,
if we got Jeffrey here cleaning like a butler, he literally just leave the plates on the table and get up and walk away, and they take the table and clean the fucking table off and put it all in the sink and dishwasher and do all that shit. You have live-in servants that are taking care of your life. How do you serve somebody besides the acts of keeping the house clean? Because if their love language is acts of service, there has to be something you can do beyond cleaning the house to make them feel loved. Because if you can't, then it's not acts of service. You want a fucking maid or you want somebody to help. Huh?
My bank runs.
Right.
That's an act of service.
But, okay.
Oh. That was a good answer.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
I know that it makes your life easier. That's something I can take off of your plate. If I can do a bank run and eliminate 30 to 45 minutes of time for you, that's something that you can do while editing.
Right.
Or handling something at the shop.
But those are all things that have to be done.
Right.
Bank runs have to be made. Right. But there's nothing there that screams you're doing something for me. You're doing it because we have to do these things. That's what I'm getting at. Jen A actually just chimed in and said, I always thought it was more about doing things that don't have to be done. And that makes sense. I guess that's really what I was getting at, because all of those things, we have to do those things. And if we remove the thing for that to happen, if somebody's love language is act of service, would taking the boots off fall into acts of service?
Yes.
Okay. See,
I view that as something I do as
that
acts of
I can
service.
understand, because you don't have to do that. You do that because you want to, and there's an intimacy behind that.
Right. Me bringing you your dinner plate.
Right. That makes so much more sense to me than he needs to do the dishes. He needs to sweep twice a week. I don't like this love language. I love it when you take my boots off and bring me my plate. But like I said earlier, there's an act behind that, and it's the symbolism behind it and what is going on there that means a lot to me. And in that aspect, I will accept that as a love language. If that's the case, that act of service is dope as fuck. Mm-hmm. The bank runs help me because it allows me to free up my time to do other things. Us cleaning and doing for each other to make sure that we have extra time to watch movies, that's dope. Like, we get to do this quickly, and then we get a whole bunch of free time, and we can play and watch movies and talk shit and play video games and watch Orange is the New Black and eat pizza and, fucking throw grapes at each other or whatever. Like, we have that time is more important than the actual service. Now, the boots.
Right.
The first time you took my boots off, I was like, oh my. Oh wow, what has happened? Oh, here you go. You just do your thing, And that
let me absorb that. I need a moment. Just a moment of silence, please. Thank you for that. Continue.
That has actually become a symbolism like a symbol of our love, though. We have photos of you taking my boots off. Like, that is something that means a lot to you. It means a lot to me, too, because you don't have to do shit like that. There's an intimacy to that.
Right.
So in that aspect, I can absolutely understand the acts of service as a love language. I don't think that you cleaning up after your person is an act of service. It's you keeping your house clean. I also think that there's laziness there. If you need a maid, you need a maid. Like, I'm lazy. I don't want to fucking clean the house. If you weren't here and doing the stay-at-home wife thing and we were still living separate and Sierra closed her business, I would hire somebody else to come and clean my fucking house. And it's not a matter of I don't have time, because once it's clean, I could stay on top of it and keep it clean. I don't want to.
Right.
I'm fucking lazy when it comes to shit like that. I could be doing something that could make me money, or, you know what I mean?
But I love that you can admit that.
What, that I'm lazy?
Yeah.
I am.
There's a respect there because a lot of people avoid it.
Yeah.
They make excuses. I work too much. I never have free time.
Right. My thing, I call it laziness, and that's because it's the simplest way to put it. It's not that I'm lazy. I'm not. I work harder than anyone I know. It's not that I'm lazy. It's that it's the lowest rung of priority for me. Because I could sell everything in this house and fucking sell the house and move into a mini house and live in a tiny home that's 700 square feet and have 5 outfits or 7 outfits to wear.
We could put the bed on a loft.
Yeah. And I could live like that.
Yeah.
So having all this extra space just means more clutter. But like my idea of taking 2 hours on a Sunday to sit down and fucking clean all of this when we could be recording, or I could be editing, or I could be at the shop, or I could be marketing, or I could be designing t-shirts, or I could, you know what I mean? Like I would rather be making money than cleaning off the kitchen table. So my list of priorities, cleaning my house is dead last. It would get put off. Like, right. It would really fucking get put off. And I would deep clean, and then I would stay on top of it as best as I can as I'm doing shit. Like, if I eat, I'm going to wash my plate and my fork right after I eat and put it in the dish drainer. And I would use the same fork, same bowl, same spoon, same fork, or plate, same cup over and over and over again. And there'd be fucking dust on the shit in the cabinet because I'm not ever opening those cabinets. I would live out of the dish drainer.
Yeah. Oh, was that the end?
I guess that... She answered the question that I was having. I couldn't figure out a way to word that, but it doesn't seem right to me that your acts of service, not yours, but
right.
That book's acts of service was that her man needed to come home and do dishes and vacuum. That's not an act of service. That's you taking care of your fucking house. Though she may view it as him helping her, and that's dope. That's not that he's doing it for her. It's doing it so that she can get something more out of her life, whether it's have self-care or go to the nail salon or whatever it is. She's getting extra time by him helping her.
So what is it during the dating phase when they don't live together and someone comes over specifically to clean?
That's different.
Okay.
That's different.
Yeah.
If I was at work and you knew that my apartment was kind of dirty and you had a key or a code and you popped in and cleaned the entire fucking apartment while I was at work and I came home into a clean apartment, I'd be like, whoa. You didn't have to do that. Like, that's amazing because you don't have to do that. That's a choice. When you live together, that's not a choice anymore. You guys have to keep your fucking shit clean. Or you have jobs like we do where I fucking handle all of our finances and everything outside of the home and you handle the house.
I'm so glad you do that.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to worry about the fucking house. Because I'm telling you now, this bitch would be disgusting if it was up to me. I would throw away everything I don't use. I would start in one room of my house and everything that I haven't touched in 6 months would get donated, thrown away, or sold. Other than my tools.
I think we should do that anyway.
I'm other than camera equipment and tools. Books, DVDs, fucking watches, it doesn't matter. Like, I will throw away everything. I will fucking take my nightstand drawer out of the thing and just throw all of it in the garbage. Won't even look. I haven't been in my nightstand in probably 2 years. Unless I'm looking for like a phone charger or something. Like, the things that are in there, it's a catch-all. Like, they're junk drawers.
Yeah. We should dedicate a day to that.
That's a whole day that I could be making money.
I know. The house is giving me anxiety.
We could sell the house. As is, furnished.
I have things I like.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. You can do that. And you can yell, "Hey, do you use this?" And I'd be like, "What is it?" Nope.
I'll just start sending you pictures of things.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of shit that's just in boxes.
Everywhere.
Right. But I do. I have things that are in boxes from like my previous marriage, from being moved from one house to another that never got unboxed. And then moved into this house that never got unboxed. And then when I got my divorce, it never got unboxed. And it's literally gone from box, place to place to place to place. It ended up in storage at one point. When I got rid of the storage, it's still fucking here in boxes. I don't need any of that shit.
Where are those at?
In the closet in the red room.
Huh.
There's shit in our closet.
Okay.
There's stuff, there's shit in my closet in there that I don't even know what's in there. I opened a bag the other day and found 3 GoPros.
Wow.
Attachments, head straps. I found a knockoff GoPro. I didn't even know that bag was in there. Do you remember that? And I was like, holy shit, I found a GoPro. It was a Hero 4. That's how long that shit's been sitting in that bag.
I don't know what that means.
We're on Hero 10.
Okay.
So that's like 6 years old. It's been in that bag for 6 years.
Could you imagine me living a day in my life and just talking out loud wearing a GoPro?
Oh my God. I have a better camera than a GoPro that's actually made for shit like that.
Wow. What a journey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he's sending the supers.
Ooh. Let's get them.
Let's see. Theoryman Dan, would you count gift giving as an act of service? Like in the material way, not like a rock. Like a $90 piece of art or something expensive that you can't really afford, but you get it anyway because you thought of them.
I would still classify that as gift giving.
I would count, yes, I wouldn't count that as acts of service.
You process it?
No, I'm trying to like my mind went to if your woman got a flat tire and you came over and changed her tire when you weren't living together, that would be an act of service.
Yes.
Or like if you took her car to get the oil changed so that she doesn't have to do it, that's an act of service. Taking her car to the gas station to put gas in it, that's an act of service because she can do all of those things.
Running into the store and getting something for her.
Right, while she sits in the AC. I see that. Dan, this idea of giving someone a $90 piece of art or something expensive that you can't really afford, but you get it anyways, that says a lot about who you are and how you care about somebody. Because giving somebody struggling to breathe over there?
A little
Did
bit.
you choke on your slobber?
Nope, the wind just hit something in there wrong.
You want me to turn the fan off? Or is the fan going to kill you? Because I'll turn the fan off.
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay. What I was going to say is if you are someone who's very well off and you buy somebody a $90 or $100 gift, it doesn't mean anything. It's no, like if you have, $1,000 in your pocket and you spend $50 on somebody, that's nothing.
Right.
But if you have $2 and you go inside and buy somebody a candy bar and you come out with 3 cents in your pocket, it says a lot because you're sacrificing the last of what you have to make someone else happy. I think that means a lot more than an expensive gift.
I agree with
So
that.
if you're giving in terms of finances way higher than you should be, that gift is more meaningful than it would be if you just, bought somebody something super fucking cheap because you were broke or nothing at all. You know what I mean? Emily Randolph, $4.99. Jasmine Ramirez, $2. Manuel Rucker, found your stuff through shorts, binge content over the last week and a half while at work. Hope to send an email soon. Love what you guys do. I'm continuing to push myself and be better. I love that.
Hell yeah.
Jordan Parker, $4.99. You two opened my eyes, guided me to set and stand strong in my boundaries, show an abundance of love and appreciation towards my partner. Do we want to talk about boundaries at all tonight at all?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, we'll come back to that then.
These people are thanking us.
Yeah.
That's just wild to me.
Yeah. Danielle said $1.99, 25 minutes in and no super chats yet. Yeah, what's up with that? We're losing our touch, I guess. It's okay.
That's okay.
As long as you share the content, you don't have to give us super chats. Michelle said that's a Starbucks cup.
Yes, this is. It's the iridescent pink one with a very light blue lid, and the color contrast just does it.
AJ asked me one day, does she collect Starbucks cups? And I'm like, no. Yeah, she does.
I do.
Yeah, I was way wrong.
I like them.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that you collect them because you don't ever like actively search them out. Like collectors will go and
Oh yeah, no, I don't do that.
search for that kind of shit. Like with bourbon, I will go to liquor stores whenever I go out of town, and every liquor store I see looking for like unicorn bottles. Mm-hmm. I could see that that's a collector.
No, I just walk in. If I see something I like, I get it.
Yeah. So you kind of collect. You like their products.
I'm very picky.
Yeah. You want to talk about the boundaries thing?
Sure. What did you have in mind?
Well, they said that we've guided them to set, we've opened their eyes, guided them to set and stand strong in their boundaries. We just got an appreciation, good vibes email.
Ooh.
We hear a lot of people say that if you're setting boundaries, you're controlling your partner. And people are so quick to throw shade because they're going to be told that they can't do something versus realizing that there are going to be people in your life that are not going to be okay with things. And you can view it across family members, DNA or not, marriage or not. If you have something that you're vehemently against or something that bothers you and you express that to somebody and you're trying to get them not to do it around you, it's not a controlling behavior to set a fucking standard and adhere to it.
Right.
So by you voicing those boundaries and setting that expectation of the people that you have around you, if the people around you can't meet those expectations, get new fucking people. Don't accept less than just because someone's in your life.
Yeah, I don't tolerate that anymore. My life has gotten just like it's peaking.
Right. I just don't get that. And I'm okay. You want to call me controlling for having standards? I'll be that. I'll be an asshole. I'll be whatever you want to call me. But I'm leveling my fucking life up. And if you want to do that shit that you're doing back there and you want to stay there and keep doing that shit, you fucking keep doing that.
Yeah, I don't have the energy for that anymore. It's very exhausting.
Theory Man Dan said, no, we're just poor. Didn't you just hear we can't afford it? LOL. Bro, I wasn't saying you were poor or that you can't afford it. I'm saying that when you spend the larger amount of money in your pocket towards somebody else, that act of service, that gift giving in that scenario, you are giving up of yourself. If you've got $10 left and your partner's like, I want a McNugget meal when you're in the drive-thru or you're driving and you have to count fucking change out of your console to make sure that you got enough money to get them a fucking super meal or whatever it's called, a Happy Meal or a fucking combo meal, or whatever the McDonald's shit's called. And you're broke as fuck afterwards and you drop them off and you had a good day and you got to go the rest of the night with no food because you ain't got no money in your pocket and you don't get paid till Friday and it's fucking Wednesday.
Yeah.
That means way more than buying somebody an expensive gift. Even if they never know you did it.
Right, or like foregoing Starbucks for 2 weeks to save money.
Right. Yep. Those gifts mean a lot more. Emily Dice said, I am so grateful for these videos. I didn't have a healthy representation of marriage growing up, so this podcast is helping me unlearn things and learn to be better. What are you unlearning? When you guys say shit like this, I need details. Right? Like, that would be a good thing to know. Like, when have you unlearned that we've told you or taught you or that we've put out into the universe that made it click for you? Because maybe it's something that we've said that you had your own revelation for that we didn't clarify that we could use to help other people.
That would be dope, yeah.
Right? Help us help others.
Yeah, I would love to receive emails. I mean, we do. Vast majority of thank yous are, we've gotten back together, things are working out, we're doing check-ins, but they don't ever elaborate
Right.
on the things that they've implemented and how it's working, how it's changed. We've received a couple.
Yeah.
I want to get more of those.
Yep.
Give me the details on that. Make my day.
Here's one for you.
For me?
I need you to put your thinking cap on.
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
Samantha Salman said, how did Peaches get the courage to stand up for herself? I have trouble voicing what I feel and think.
I got tired of feeling bad for doing things for people. Like when I know something's wrong, but I would do it anyway to appease somebody, I got tired of feeling like I don't matter. And nobody cares about how I feel because even though I tell them that it hurts, they still expect it of me. And I chose happiness. And a lot of people have fallen off in my life, and that's something you're going to have to accept too, and that's going to be painful. Losing people that you've known for 10 or 15 years. But the quality of life that I have now, it's worth it.
How did that look? Like, how did that start? Because I mean, I don't know. That they didn't give me a whole lot more to go off of. So I'm gonna hypothetical things. But
Okay.
How did that look? Like, did you just wake up one morning and be like, "Fuck these people, I'm gonna start doing for me," or was it like a gradual thing? Like, how did that play out?
So it took years of repeatedly feeling like I don't matter and nothing I say is ever going to change how I'm being treated because they don't care. And I got into really dark places. I was Baker acted, and it was rough. What made it change was I am setting an example for my kids. So if I don't set my own boundaries, they're going to recognize that, I mean, if mom didn't care, why should I care?
Right.
That was one of the catalysts But it wasn't just a wake up and be like, okay, I'm done. It was gradual over time, feeling like I don't matter, and finally getting to a point of going, well, why don't I matter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to know that if you don't put that self-worth and standard and like you don't set those boundaries and you don't speak up for yourself, nobody's going to do it for you.
Right.
And when people realize that they can treat you like a doormat and others see people treating you like a doormat, you will be the fucking doormat. And having that backbone and that willingness to stand up, even if it means you're going to get knocked the fuck down, eventually people will stop knocking you down because it's harder to knock you down than it is to step on you. So knowing that your outcome is going to be a direct result of the decisions that you make in the moment will help guide that.
Yeah.
I'm very concise with things. Like I don't do well a lot on the fly. Like if I'm in a public situation and things are going around and I get overwhelmed, I have to leave. But if I'm in like a private scenario and somebody asks me a question, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like I'm not going to say something that's out of the side of my neck and be wrong.
Right.
And if I don't know the situation, I'm not going to say shit. I'll tell you that. I don't know anything about that. Let's Google it or let's have a discussion. And if I hear people talking and I think they're full of shit, I'm gonna call them on it.
Me too.
But there's a difference between being an asshole and like shitting on everyone around you and just knowing that you have value. So when people try to make a joke at your expense, you fucking put a stop to it. And sometimes that looks like, hey, I don't know if you're trying to be a fucking asshole right now, but there's no reason for you to act like that. And if you're in a group of people and somebody's talking down to you and you say some shit like that and you stand up for yourself in that moment, you realize that everyone in that room looks at that person and be like, damn, they will never forget that you said that.
Yep.
And the next time they want to go and belittle somebody, they're going to remember that there could be the possibility that that's the wrong motherfucker to try to belittle. And you don't have to, this is per my last email type shit. You don't have to be an asshole and like be in somebody's face to make that shit stop. You just have to know how to stand your ground in a professional setting to make people realize that you're not the fucking one.
Right.
AJ said that Michelle goes to work and comes back with those cups. She also said that the Target Circle app has 10% off Starbucks merch.
What?
Yep.
The Target app?
Yep. Abigail Ellis said, in your opinion, what should someone do if family and friends do not respect your boundaries and limits when it comes to your child? I'm going to let you start to answer that. I'm going to run off camera and blow my nose because I'm talking, bypassing the nostrils, and I sound like shit. So give me 1 second.
I did not hear anything you said about that question.
In your opinion, what should someone do if family/friends does not respect your boundaries and limits when it comes to your child?
They are no longer seeing my child. So, if family or friends are crossing boundaries with your children, they are teaching them that they do not have the power to say no to somebody. And the repercussions from that can lead to SA.
Ooh.
I don't play with that.
That went way far.
Very fast.
I don't play with that. If you're not going to respect my boundaries when it comes to my child, and if I say, hey, please don't touch my child, but you touch them anyway because you're auntie or your grandma, you are showing them that you don't care if they're uncomfortable or not, you're going to touch them. So their words have no power. They can't tell you yes or no because it doesn't matter because you're family.
Right.
And SAs mostly occur from family members.
That went you went from one extreme to another.
Yeah.
My brain was not there at all, which means we have very different life experiences, and I don't want to get into that, but like...
I don't play when it comes to boundaries with children.
So...
If Nana's sneaking cookies and says, don't tell mommy this, we keep secrets. We don't keep secrets.
Right. No, that's a problem. So that's an undermining behavior.
It is.
Right? It's teaching your children that it's okay to undermine the people in their lives and lie to them. People don't do this anymore because phones are no longer attached to the house. But in the 80s, 90s, when your phone was still attached to a wall, if the phone rang with no caller ID and you answered it, the people in the house would be like, who is it? If it's so-and-so, I'm not here, right? Because you got to know who's on the phone. Your curiosity, it could be important. You never know. And if it's a family member or somebody's friend or whatever, and you answer the phone, oh, mommy's in the bathroom. She'll call you back. Mommy's not here, whatever, right? You are teaching your children to lie.
Right.
And then when your children start lying because you're teaching them that it's okay, they get in trouble. And now abuse is happening because you're teaching them a learned behavior and you're punishing when they do it to you, but you're getting away with doing it to other people.
Right.
So subconsciously, that's a problem. So in the undermining aspect, if grandma's giving cookies and cookies aren't allowed, or we drink soda, kids don't fucking drink soda in this house. They get
Right.
water or they get a juice. I don't want them drinking soda. It's bad for their fucking teeth. Like I'm an addict. I like my caffeine. That's why I drink energy drink. If it wasn't for the kidney stones, I'd drink energy 24/7.
Right.
Like I like the flavor. They're good to me. Like I love my caffeine. But I drink soda to not have a heart attack in between. And I do
Right.
drink water too. I drink a gallon of water a day, but I still pound a lot of fucking sugary drinks. Or fake sugary drinks. But in the event that the kids were going to somebody's house and they were getting soda and we were like, we don't give them soda, don't do that. And I found out that they were doing it, there'd be a big fucking problem.
They're not going over there anymore.
Right. Damn
don't
right.
play that game.
Yeah.
When people go behind your back and do things anyway, like giving soda or giving cookies, you are showing them it's okay to disrespect your parent.
Right.
Well, grandma doesn't listen to her. Why should I?
Right.
Grandma treats me better. Grandma lets me do whatever I want to do. And she tells me it's okay. So why would I respect what my parents say?
Right. That actually, that undermining shit will actually have big implications or complications
Long term.
long term in the home. And when you have two parents that aren't on the same page and one lets the kids get away with the murder and the other ones have very strict parents,
Yeah.
which was the case with my oldest. I was very strict and her mom wasn't. It was a very different thing. When my daughter was with me, she didn't want to follow the rules. She was good for the first few months and then she got tired of that shit and would want to go back to her mom's because there was no rules there. She'd do whatever she wanted to do.
Right.
And even though her mom had rules, my daughter knew she could push that fucking boundary and she couldn't do that shit with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jasmine said, I will not bring our children around someone who makes them uncomfortable. Also, if I get a bad vibe from someone, I will cut ties with them. I will not put our kids through traumatic things.
Yep.
That's it. That idea of people having unfettered access or having, their family.
Right.
That don't fucking mean nothing to me.
If a child says, I don't want to hug somebody, and then you force them to hug somebody, you
Right.
show them that their boundaries don't matter.
Yep.
And just because it's Nana or just because it's auntie or it's their uncle or it's their cousin, if they say no, it's a no.
Yep.
I hate it when grandparents use that, well, I'm Nana, come give me a hug, you have to hug me. No, the fuck they don't.
Right.
You can give them a high five or a fist bump.
As somebody that doesn't actually like to be touched, I don't.
Right.
I have, like, I will shake somebody's hand and be very intentional. And if I love you, best friend, whatever, I am very physical. But that takes a lot. Like, it takes a lot for me to even have to shake someone's hand when I first meet them. I have told people when they've stuck their hand out, I'm not shaking your hand. They're like, why not? And I'm like, because I don't fucking know you. I understand that it's a sign of respect. But if I don't know you, I don't respect you. You have to earn my respect. I'm not giving it to you just because you showed up.
Oh, I'm a germaphobe. I don't know where your hands
No, I'm a
have
dick
been.
about that. There have been times where I've gone to dealerships and just looked at their fucking hand and looked at them and looked at their fucking hand. And they put their hand down. I don't need, you don't need to touch me. Like there's not a reason. I don't like being touched. It has nothing to do with germs. I don't like physical contact. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't even know how else to explain it. I can't even
No,
put
I
into
get
words
that.
why I feel that way. I just don't like it.
I don't hug people when they ask for hugs.
But once I find that bond, I will hug and touch, and it's a very different thing. It's fucking weird. And I know that it's weird. So, like, when our daughter's like, you're like, hugs and kisses. She's like, no, thanks. I'm like, fuck yes. High five. Like, that's all I need from you. Go to bed. But our son is very much not that guy. And, like, it makes me feel good that he's like, yeah, love you. You know what I mean? Like, that makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
But I see me and her in that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotcha. Like, I fucking get it, kid. Go to bed. Yeah, we don't. Go team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of kids, now is the perfect opportunity to promote the co-parenting thing that's going live tomorrow morning. That is tomorrow, right? Did we post that?
What's
AJ, is
today?
that today's Thursday? I'm almost positive the co-parenting side piece goes live tomorrow.
I have
We
no
did
idea.
that as a live stream.
We did.
So some people have already seen it. AJ, does that go live tomorrow?
Does that have to do with the cameras or the system?
I don't know what's going on. He said it's back up.
Oh, dope.
It's clocking over there on the computer still. Ooh. My OBS crashed. Okay, let me double check just to make sure we're here. Okay, he said it's back up, so
Okay, dope.
I don't remember where we were. I was getting ready to read one from B. Did you guys hear the one from Abigail? The $10 super chat? I don't know where we ended. Like, I don't know where it crashed.
I don't know either.
If Chris can do the TikTok to get the viewers back up. Bro, our internet can't handle that right now. Our internet can barely handle this, apparently. Although OBS like crashed. I hit stop and it just kept recording. Like the timer was still going and everything. I might need to update.
Yeah.
There's no need to do that anyways. We're an hour and a half in at this point. We're going to just run through this. So I'm going to reread that super chat and we can have that discussion again. Abigail said, I have a problem with my family telling me how to raise my son or me telling them that he is not allowed to have something and they give it to him as soon as I leave the room because he's the baby.
Unacceptable. If they are coming to your house, they are no longer welcome. If you're going to their place, I would no longer go and visit.
Yeah.
You're not going to undermine me in front of my child and show them that it's okay to disrespect me.
Right. And that is a big sign of disrespect.
It is.
If they're in your home and you're like, this is my boundary, don't do this, and they do it the moment you leave the room, they're teaching your kid that you don't matter. Mm-hmm. I would open the door and politely ask them to leave. And as a gentleman, I would open their car door. And after I closed the car door and they rolled their windows down to say their goodbye, I'd be like, since you can't respect me and my rules in my fucking home with my children, don't come back over here again. And in the future, if you decide that you want to be grandma and come around and see the kids, you can give me a call first. And if I'm over this disrespect, we can move forward from there. But this is not okay.
Right.
You were teaching my child that I am not an authority in this household. You're teaching them that they can do whatever the fuck they want, regardless of how I feel about things. And what happens when I tell them don't put that in their mouth and they put it in their mouth and something bad happens?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what if this is like, I'm like, don't drink that. It's poisonous and and they drink it. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously an extreme and you're shitty parents if your kid's got a hold of fucking chemicals, but like,
right.
I don't know. That's very much a thing.
Oh, I think our viewers are going back up.
Yeah, that's what he said. Zeke kept everyone occupied with lyrics while we were down.
What a homie.
B said, somebody asked if we had a P.O. box. I want to paint something for Peaches. We do have a P.O. box. And if we haven't put it in the chat yet, Zeke has that information. B sent a $5 super chat that said, how do you handle rejection when asking a partner to stop emotionally draining behavior? Example, partner being upset and complaining for hours daily. We talked about this today in episode 19.
Did we?
Yes, we did. Yes, we fucking did.
Wow, everything is just one long day.
Yep, we did. Because we were dealing with somebody that was, whose partner was emotionally...
Oh, yeah, she wasn't...
She was a complainer.
Trying not to level up.
Right.
She didn't want any personal growth. I remember that, yeah.
Yep, so how do you handle that? Because you and I handling that, I think, are very different.
How would we handle that? It depends on what stage we're at.
Okay.
If, say we've been together for 10 years, and on year 11, you start slipping a little bit. And be like, hey, babe, I notice you're off. What's going on? Like, you're not your usual self. If we don't get to the root of the problem, then it's a persistent issue. I'm going to come to you and say, I've noticed a pattern. I'm starting to become concerned. What can we do to get you back on track, to get you motivated to get things done again? Because you're not you. If it continues onward and now it's 2 years into it and you just don't want to do anything anymore, we're not leaving the house, you don't want to spend time with me, you're not working, and all you want to do is complain about life and ask me for validation and reassurance and I know I'm depressed, but tell me I'm not depressed so I can get out of this funk.
Right.
At that point, I'm going to be putting my own mental health aside to do something that is clearly not working just to make you feel better for 5 seconds.
Right.
So there's extremes to it. in that scenario, I'm not sure how I'd approach that without putting thought into it.
Okay. I'm going to address that. AJ, did you guys hear me talking about the co-parenting episode tomorrow? Let me know, please, so that I can plug that if I need to. In that scenario, people who do that are emotional vampires.
Yeah.
If you are the pity me person all the time and you're always the victim and you're always drained and you're always poor me, that's no different than somebody who's a hypochondriac that always has something wrong with them or has Munchausen syndrome. Right? Like, you need that constant attention because your life is fucking horrible and you fucking drain everyone in the room with that shit. He said that it cut midway. So I will get into that. So in that aspect, B, I would recommend, and this is not a like real life scenario, but read the Celestine Prophecies. There is a part of that book that talks about control dramas, which is based off of Carl Jung's theories on psychology, but they talk about 4 control dramas: the pity me, the bully, the aloof. Oh fuck.
Pity me.
The aloof, the bully. It's gone.
Oh my gosh.
It's gone. I've read that book hundreds of times, and it's gone. Anyways, they talk about those 4 control dramas, and they talk about the way people vie for energy.
It's the instigator.
The interrogator.
Interrogator.
The interrogator. Oh,
There we
you're
go.
good. You're fucking good.
Oh.
They talk about, and so like the poor me is the one who's always playing the victim, like what you've just explained. The aloof is somebody that never really knows what's going on and constantly needs you to always explain and over-explain because they're getting that attention from you as you're over-explaining and
They're
being
playing stupid.
Right, they're playing stupid.
Yeah.
The interrogator is the opposite of that, where they're constantly asking you questions in an aggressive manner to get you to engage with them.
Right.
And then obviously the bully's the bully. But when you understand those control dramas, you will look at the way that you interact with people differently, even though the book is about energy and transferring energy from things, which is, hippie shit, whether you believe in it or not.
It makes you see things differently.
Apparently AJ has read the book.
Oh, hell
Or
yeah.
B has, because I just got the syndrome that makes you. Oh, here we go. Anyways, new patron. So for those of you who are listening to the parenting conversation that we were having earlier when the shit froze, we have the co-parenting side piece going live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube. It is an email that we started reading from somebody that was in Patreon, got the email up, did the whole thing during a live stream, and that's going live tomorrow morning for everyone else. It's B, not me. I can't read. You fucker. It's one of those things that's one of those people that actually sent an email in, and we kind of rushed them because it was relevant for what we were going to be talking about, and then they deleted their Patreon. I'm just calling you out on the internet because fuck it, you did that. I'm petty spaghetti. Desert Rose, would you talk about breakups / healing from toxicity?
What kind of toxicity?
Yeah, we need more information than that. That's like saying, let's talk about the weather. What kind of weather? You want to talk about typhoons? You want to talk about hurricanes? You want to talk about tornadoes?
Were they a moocher?
Right.
Were they mentally abusive? Were they playing games?
Yep.
Constantly putting you down, cheating on you?
Rhiannon Fryer sent a 1999 super chat with no text.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the money, but like,
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know how to say this without not being dirty, but I feel like I don't get to finish when you guys give me money and don't give me text. That's a really horrible way to explain it, but I can't, there's no other way
Right.
that I can think of to explain that feeling. Like, there's a whole lot of buildup and then there's nothing there. You guys got to send text, even if it's just like, say my name or like something dirty or something. Like, I don't really care what it is. At least I can read it, even if I can't say it on YouTube. So I have that. Yeah.
You just ask for a lot of things.
I really, I probably did.
Yeah, I don't know why
Fuck.
you did that to yourself.
Anyways.
Before you continue, there's something I wanted to say, and now I don't remember what it was, so I need you to backtrack on our conversations before you did that.
The breakups healing from toxicity, the co-parenting side piece, the control dramas, the fact that AJ can't read.
Nope, it's gone.
Okay. T Dima, $200. I strive to live in the amount of comfy Peaches looks like she is right now. Would you like to talk about that onesie?
Like, I don't know. I'm having imposter syndrome right now.
You do look pretty comfortable over there.
I am very comfortable. It is like... If you were ever in theater, or if you were in some type of like symphonic like band or orchestra, you know what the curtains feel like behind the stage, like those really nice velvety, like buttery smooth fabric.
Yeah, it's crushed velvet.
It's like that all over me.
Yep.
And it's very nice.
But it's called velour, so it's not as expensive as crushed velvet. It's like a blanket from Home Goods that you can wear.
Yeah. And it's
so I did good.
It's staying really cool. Like I'm not sweating or anything.
No?
This is very nice.
Is it because the AC's turned down a little bit, or is it just right? Are we three little bears right now?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm pretty satisfied in life right now.
Did they say the name of the chick from the Three Little Bears?
What do you mean?
The girl that ate the porridge?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Goldilocks.
So you're Goldilocks.
I don't want it if I have to take it from somebody.
It's just right, though.
Damn, you're right. In this analogy, I am. I'm Goldilocks.
You don't want it. You don't want it if you got to take it from somebody.
She's such a thief. Just wanders into somebody's home.
Glad that little whore burnt her fucking mouth.
I mean, that's kind of what you get. Not only did you eat their food,
Did that shit to yourself.
you laid in their beds. If I came home and somebody was in my bed, I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
Your dead cells all over my pillow now. Huh. Wake up to a hair on me and it's not mine. Issues.
So I don't know if he actually sent that as like a cutoff or if she sent another $20 chat, but she said, I want to thank you guys for helping me realize I was ruining my own relationship. Because of you guys, I noticed my patterns and I have taken accountability and work every day to strive every day to be better. Emailing soon. When you send that email, please give the details on what you've done to change.
Right. Like, what did you notice in your behavior that was a problem?
Right. And if you had an epiphany of something that we said, I want to know what that epiphany was, because you are going to, through your life experience, you're going to hear something that we say that we don't mean, and the way that you take it. And if that can help other people, we need that information to give it.
Correct.
We got a $4.20 super chat.
Hell yeah.
Just to make the chat happy and to celebrate.
My vape's dead. And I did not put it on the charger because I was rushing to get back over here.
But you did eat an edible.
I did. It's kind of wearing off, though.
That's rough. Or maybe you're just getting used to it.
I don't know. I'm going to eat another one before we watch Fight Club.
Are we doing that tonight?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Why not? Is it late?
I mean, it's almost 9.
Oh, I'm so old.
B said, Google the 4 control dramas. Good recommendation. T Dima, $15. Can I get a yeah?
Yeah.
Emily Randolph, $4.99. LOL. Since Chris feels incomplete without text involved in the super chat, gotta solve that. Jasmine Ramirez sent a cat thing or a dog thing going like thumbs up, I think. I don't know.
I love that.
Chelsea Prince, my hubs planned us a date night out with 2 kids and have been together a decade. We are dating each other again. Your content has saved us. No, you have saved you by doing the fucking work.
You just were open to receiving the message.
Right. You got it when you needed it, because otherwise you would have destroyed your marriage. We had the email that came through. It was recent where it was one of the frustrated ones from episode 19. No, it was from the reaction channel.
Okay.
Of the woman being like, well, I don't want to take, it's too hard. You have the luxury of making plans as a man where you don't have to fucking worry about nap times and taking the kids out and blah, 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 blah. You guys can go to the reaction channel when we're done this. To Be Better Reacts to watch that video because it pissed us both off. Seeing this, my hubs and I planned a date night out with 2 kids and we have been together a decade and still dating, and we are dating each other again. Your content has saved us. Let me tell you.
That's perception.
Right. That's the difference in that outlook. To know that just because you have little kids, you can fucking still date your person. Yeah. If you're making the excuse, we can't go to dinner, we can't take a vacation because of nap time and because we have a little one, you're making an active decision to destroy your marriage.
Tell me you don't care about your spouse and your quality time without telling me you don't care.
Right. Whereas Chelsea Prince over here is fucking doing the thing and dating a decade into their relationship.
They cracked the proverbial code that nobody else can.
Yep. Rhiannon Fryer said all the details, the hard truths and realizations. It will be a long one. She was the one that sent the super chat saying the email's coming soon.
Hell yeah. I
love that. You know, I may eat one of my 1-to-1s if we're going to watch Fight Club. If you're going to get super toasty, I might get a little toasty and see how I do.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, it's that day, right? Look at that smile on her face.
I'm so excited.
And you just can't hide it?
I'm about to lose control.
And you think you like it?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get off of here tonight?
I want to strongly suggest ordering pizza.
We are supposed to be dieting one.
I know. You need to tell me no.
I have a fucking eating disorder. The last person's going to tell you no to pizza is me.
I love that we have so much in common, but this one is such a detriment to us.
That's like, let's like go in. Do you want brownies? No, we're on a diet, but they're brownies. Yeah, you're right. Let's get brownies.
Okay. I'll be the strong one.
Besides, I have keto ice cream in there. So, there is a peptide for all of you guys out there who like to lift weights that you may have heard of. It's called GHRP6. It is a growth hormone growth hormone like product, GRP6. When you take it, it's supposed to mimic growth hormone in your body. However, growth hormone, when taken, can stimulate ghrelin. Ghrelin in the brain is the chemical that tells you that you're hungry. So for people who have a hard time eating, like if you are a very skinny individual and you have a hard time just in GHRP6 is a peptide. I'm not telling you to take any drugs.
Right.
Do your own fucking research, but I know that it stimulates ghrelin because I've taken it.
That's so many letters and numbers that you're just throwing out there.
Right. Well, that's not really important. I'm only getting into that because I'm about to tell a story about the one time that I fucking took it.
Okay.
Because you brought up pizza and the whole high thing. When ghrelin signals your brain that you're hungry, you eat until that ghrelin receptor is satisfied. When you take GHRP6, that ghrelin receptor is on. The one time that I took that shit, I ate everything in my pantry. I ate an entire box of cereal with milk, an entire box of cookies, a whole thing of Oreos, the triple sleeve pack. I ate for like 4.5 hours and had to force myself to go to sleep because I thought I was dying. I was fucking ravenous. My belly was distended. I was so miserable feeling, but I just felt like I was starving. And that's how it is when I'm dieting and you're like, do you want pizza? Yes. Yes, I do. Do you want brownies? Yes. Yes, I do.
Stop. No. So we're not doing
Today, you're like, you want Chick-fil-A? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, what do you want? And I'm like, a sandwich. And you're like, do you want the two? And I'm like, yeah. And fries. And you came home with a brownie and I ate all that shit. Ate all of it.
I'm such an enabler.
I like food.
I know, me too. We can't do this anymore.
I'm not saying we can't do it. We just can't do it every day. And like we did have Chick-fil-A today, so having pizza tonight's not an okay thing.
Right. I like the garlic parmesan sauce.
And we could absolutely do cardio tomorrow morning and do our recording and shit throughout the day. I know that you have something you got to do tomorrow, but we could absolutely do that later tomorrow night. But I don't know if we should do that while I'm on an edible because anyways.
Right.
Summer Breeze Jones. Summer Breeze makes me feel every time. I can't help it. It doesn't matter what it is. If there's a song in my brain and I hear a phrase, it will trigger that song and I can't turn it off.
You're like my own personal jukebox.
Is that like a mental thing? I know Jasmine has it too. So like Jasmine, you've obviously looked into that more than me. Is that a thing?
I do that.
I hate it. What are your thoughts? Because I can't just have a normal conversation. I could be having a business meeting and someone will say something and that will happen in my head and it takes everything I have not to fucking
blurt it out.
Right. Why is that? Is that because I spent like most of my childhood in front of a television? Like, is that the long-term effects of parenting when you stick your kid in front of a TV and let them fucking watch TV all the time? Maybe. I used to sing commercials.
Me too. Stop it.
Right? Like, are we learning something right now? Is this an effect of childhood trauma and fucking being raised by a television?
I'm uncomfortable. What
are your thoughts? God damn it, dude. Now I'm uncomfortable. Why do I do that? Like, why does my brain do that? Because it's not just me. Sean does it. Jasmine does it. You do it. Why does that happen? Ugh. I can hear that. Thank you. Summer said, what are your thoughts on the man planning all of the dates? Does he pay for all of them? If both people are working, what if the woman pays the date for the man for something special he likes? Does he pay? Or does she pay? While you do that, I'm going to answer this question. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Yes, the man always pays. However, the art of the gentleman states that he who invites pays. So technically, if the woman does the invite to the date and she's asking the person out, she could pay, and that could bypass that. I personally believe that the man should be buying dinner when they are going on a dinner date, a romantic date. As for what if the woman plans the date for the man and does something special he likes, that's a different scenario because you guys are planning an evening and you're surprising him with shit. I think it would be unfair if you were to plan a date night out with a show and a dinner and expect him to pay for everything and him not knowing that it was happening, because if you're planning everything, you don't know what his finances are. So if you go to a $50 a plate restaurant and he's got $30 to his name, that's fucked up. So in that scenario, there has to be that exception to the rule. But I do think the underlying rule is that he who invites pays, or she who invites pays. And we actually implement that when we go out with our friends. Whoever invites to dinner pays for the entire thing. It's just the way it is. AJ said, Michelle baked me a new dessert every day. I could see her while I was at AIT. Bro, I would get so fat because I'm not saying no to desserts. I'm just not.
No, me either.
Theory Man Dan, happy 420 and first anniversary to my wife. Our lives have changed because of how we converse with each other, and it is because of you two. Thank you for your effort and continued support in the Discord.
That's amazing.
It is. So one, those are my favorite super chats. When you guys make me say shit like that, like happy anniversary or so-and-so loves so-and-so, it does. It makes me feel like a radio announcer going, and this song goes out to so-and-so requesting such and such for his lovely woman. Like, that's super dope to me. The other thing that I want to touch on that is the Discord. If you guys are not part of the Patreon with the Discord, you're fucking up. There is such a dope community there. And though everybody may not benefit from it, because there are people that are afraid to talk, and like we created a members chat, a new members chat for that. It is very active, and a lot of people in there. It's just, I don't know. It's a very supportive thing. I'm seeing a lot of things behind the scenes happening in there, and other members helping other members when they're having hard times, and like the conversations that are happening and playing out. And it makes me feel like we really are creating that community.
It is really dope.
Did you find what you're looking for?
I'm trying. I'm just finding forums of somebody asking the question. Everyone just comments what phrases trigger songs in their heads.
Okay. Well, that's not going to help us.
So it's nothing really useful.
Sergeant Neeks says, I just want to say this is my first time catching your live, and I've been watching your TikToks for the past couple weeks. I love the advice you both give.
Oh, great.
I appreciate that. You should subscribe to this channel because we have so much content that comes out on YouTube. We have like 2 to 3 hours at a time, 3 times a week, plus the live streams. We got the reaction channel going now, and once that other room is set up in there, we're going to have even more content. This is going to become a full-time job. And this is going to get to the point where I'm going to start mailing a drive if I have to get editors to edit so that we can record and don't have to worry about that shit.
Right.
Everything in time. So AJ said yes to the TV thing. I was raised by movies. Michelle used to watch Cops. Jasmine said that's a constant for me. It's because I was in front of a TV my entire life. It's got to be from our fucking parents sticking us in front of a TV.
So I want to rip every TV off the wall in the house.
Well, we don't turn the TV on until nighttime, but they have tablets now. So like they're utilizing their tablets, and it was supposed to be that they utilize those tablets for games and learning, but they're watching cartoons, and that's fine. Watching cartoons are educational. They're supposed to teach kids how to like read and write, and like they're octonauts. Mm-hmm. Like they're learning about narwhals and shit on that show. Bluey, same thing. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But when they start getting a little bit older, I don't want them sitting in front of a TV all fucking day long.
Right.
I mean, it's funny to me when I say something and everyone in the room fucking gets it. But what does it say about us? Anyways.
What do you mean, what does that say about us? Like how we were raised?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. Because all of us, everyone that I know that does that is fucked up. We're all fucked up some way. Is that a trauma response?
Wow. You know, it's really strange to think that not everybody thinks the way we think.
Right.
Like, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine not having these thought processes and living like this.
Tiffany Casares. I'm really bad with names. Y'all are amazing. I know I need to work on my communication skills and I'm wanting to be better. It's just hard to explain what I'm feeling at times. And that's okay. That's fucking okay.
Emotions are hard to figure out.
Right.
Because they're a mask over layers and you
That's
have
it.
to dig through and find the root of that shit.
Yep.
It's not easy.
But you know it. So
Right.
instead of trying to explain it because you're going through it, be like, I need a minute to process what I'm feeling. If it takes you 30 minutes to work through what you're feeling, to get to the root of it, to talk about the root of it, you're going to, what are you doing over there? Are you still looking for that?
I'm trying, yeah. Okay, I'm putting it away.
I can hear it through the headphones. Is the
Oh.
only reason why I'm asking. I don't care if you're on your phone, but hearing it, it's like hearing somebody chew for me because of the audio file thing in my head. Anyways, with that whole scenario, if you guys are able to stop what you're doing and tell your partner, I need to process, and your partner understands what that is, and you're able to work through that before having a conversation, you're not going to argue anymore because you're not going to be frustrated and not know how to talk. You're going to be able to tell them what's going on from a very, like, this is actually what's happening, not you work too much. You know what I mean? Like, so it's important. And you know that that's a thing. Tell your partner that's a thing and that you have a hard time finding the right emotion to explain or the right words to explain the emotion so that when you're in conflict, you can be like, I need to process. Give me a minute. They're not going to ever get mad that you're taking a second to find a way to articulate yourself because you're not going to attack them. Super important.
Yep.
This one's not for you,
Oh.
but it's from Joe Pill. Would you like to read it since she's your homie that sent you, isn't she the one that sent all your acrylics and your
Yeah.
bookmark and all that shit? You want to give her a shout out before I read this? Thank you for all the cool shit you sent me.
Oh, yeah. I love it. It's so dope.
You did that the other night. You were like, hey, in case you're watching.
Yeah, I should have screenshotted what her business is called, and I didn't, and I'm slacking. I'm so sorry. I've actually had a lot of people ask about that fluffy thing that I've been playing
A
with.
lot.
Yes.
A lot of people have asked about your bookmark.
So, Jill, if you haven't already, you should
Plug your business. in
plug
the
your stuff
chat.
right now.
Yep. I just want to formally thank you both for giving my husband and I the correct path to take to save our marriage. I don't know what I would do without him. By my side for life, he is my person.
I love that.
I do too. Kimberly Fawcett? Fawcett? Listening to you guys had made me realize I lived the last 3 years of my marriage in a victim mentality. I sent an email with the details, but I know y'all are busy, patiently waiting to hear it. Thank you for being patient. We have a lot of emails coming through. And we are trying to get through them. It's just not.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're not in the victim mentality anymore because once you get out of that, you realize how much like decision-making capabilities you have in your life and your life will change.
You're no longer helpless.
Yeah. Your attitude towards your situation and your perception is reality. It's a lot. Chris, your random words thing. E. cola. Meaningless repetition of words just spoken by another person. Actually, it didn't say a cola, but that's what I heard in my head. It said echolalia. ECHOLALIA. Guys, I've been hitting the head a lot and I have a 7th grade education. You can't use words that I've never seen before. Meaningless repetition of words just spoken by another person occurring as a symptom of mental conditions.
Hell yeah.
So now we know. It says we are damaged, but fucking hilarious, AJ said.
Word.
Michelle Zirk. First live, Hubs and I are watching. Love the vibe from you two. Y'all make me want to love and appreciate my husband even more. He's a great man.
I love that.
I do too.
That makes me so happy. I love this for all of you.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I just, because I'm like, this is, you court and you date. You live together for a little while and then you get married. And for most people, marriage is the end of the line. Like that's what you've wanted your entire life and you get married.
And then it's just downhill.
And then you have kids and you stop dating and you don't look at your person as like the most wonderful thing on the planet anymore. And you get used to them being there and you really start to overlook them. I don't want to say you take them for granted, but eventually you fucking do.
Yeah.
Because then when they're not here anymore, like the laundry thing that you had said in episode 1 or 2, maybe it might have been episode even 3 or 4, but you had made a comment about how people who want to argue about the laundry not make it in the laundry bin, when your partner's not here anymore, you're going to realize how much fucking misery you caused over something as simple as picking up the fucking laundry.
Yep.
So when you start taking your person for granted and you start overlooking them and just not seeing them for who they are anymore, because they're always going to be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do I need to put in the extra work? They're going to be here. They're not trying. Why should I try? And you start having all of those fucking moments, and then you start having these what if doubts. At some point, this was the most important person to you in the fucking world. So much so that you said your vows to them and told them that you would be there until the day they fucking died or until you died.
Yep. And now that means nothing.
And now for a lot of people, they're in the roommate phase, or they're quick to walk away, and they just don't remember that. And like, that's a series of choices. Mm-hmm. It really fucking is. And when you have the moment where you're like, damn, I want to be better for them. I want to be better for me so that we have a happy life and that this is a happy thing. Like, we want to be better for each other. All it takes is one person being the bigger person and start implementing that. When you get back to that feeling of lust and that honeymoon phase, and like you realize how fucking amazing your person is, and then you realize that you have 10 or 15 years invested with this person and you've built a fucking life with them, it's just a beautiful thing. Like that,
it really is.
You know, and knowing that we're helping people regain that is dope. And knowing that we have a fucking Discord of people like Jen and Zeke and like all of the people that are over there that are active. Like, we have a lot of fucking mods now. They've started adding other mods. We have people that are like heavily active in the Discord who are picking up where we don't have time to do that.
Right. Of their own fruition.
Right. Just because they want to fucking help. Like, we are creating change in people, and they are creating, this is the whole pay it forward thing.
Yeah.
But with relationships. And everyone, even us, every one of us that's doing this are all going through our own fucking trials and tribulation and working to try to continue to better our lives.
Yep.
We may have one little thing that you've never thought of, or Zeke or Jen or Heather or Danielle or Danielle True or any of the people that are in Discord might have one extra thing. Dakota, I have a fucking team of men that's holding me accountable to ask me every day how I'm doing and talk to me about life. I've never had that.
Right.
It's I don't know.
I love that for you.
It's fucking insane to me. I don't know. Paige Kane said, "Pitter patter. Thank y'all for the slap in the face. I needed for me to notice I was the problem. We started using check-ins and working on communication."
I'm gonna need you to reread that because my mind is just going
Pitter patter, pitter patter. Yep. Thank y'all for the slap in the face. I needed for me to notice that I was the problem. We started using check-ins and are working on communication. Here's a thought. We say things that make people realize they're the problem.
Right.
But you can't, as somebody's partner, tell them that they're the problem because they're going to get defensive. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is what people need to hear to take accountability.
There's no negativity bias
right,
on our end.
Because we don't know you.
Right.
There's no emotional investment there. For us to talk about accountability and give scenarios, and you'd be like, I do that.
Yeah. It's not a personal attack.
You're having revelations at that point. Like, oh shit, I actually am dropping the ball in my marriage and I need to get better. That alone is going to change your marriage.
You know, it's okay to go to your significant other and say, you were right.
Yeah.
I'm recognizing that I'm fucking up and I'm dropping the ball. I'm going to do everything I can to make this work.
Could you imagine having that conversation? Because she said that the check-ins are working for them. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine having that conversation in a check-in? Before we start this check-in, I have something I want to tell you, and then fucking drop that bomb. That check-in is going to be a very different check-in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because you're starting off with an apology and an accountability and like, I'm going to change. Mm-hmm. I love that. Lorraine, $50. I feel like my acts of service is my top love language, but only if I feel loved and feel safe with him. Can you let me know if that's a form of unconscious manipulation?
What?
I need you to read that so that I can understand it, because that's...
Okay. No, I feel so fancy.
Yeah. You know that we have another one of those keyboards. You took it off your iPad.
Yeah, it's too bulky.
Okay.
I feel like my acts of service is my top love language, but only if I feel loved and feel safe with him. Can you let me know if that's a form of unconscious manipulation?
Okay, so she's the one who does acts of service.
Right.
Okay.
Ooh, I clicked something. I'm not going to touch anything else.
Okay, so that makes sense, because when I read that, I was like, why would you have to feel loved to do an act of service that does, like, it didn't, if they feel loved. What? I don't know. I couldn't understand that.
So, do you not understand it still?
No, I do, because
Okay.
in order for her to want to do that, she needs to feel loved.
Right.
I don't know.
So I don't understand where the manipulation comes in.
Right.
Like, do they not really love you, but they're manipulating into thinking that they love you?
To get you to do things?
Right.
Yes, because that would be the manipulation.
That would be manipulation.
Lorraine, we need more clarification there. Danielle, you have sparked something in my husband by giving me better tools to be a better me. We both noticed the changes, and he's working to be a better him now.
That's so dope.
So Michelle Zirk said, "Hell yeah," for saying our last name correctly. And now that she put me on the spot, I may not have said it the same way twice. So there you go.
That's hilarious.
It's not.
That
I really struggle
is.
with names. So
No,
if I nailed
get
that,
it.
go me. But
I have a hard time with words too. I love that you can admit it.
it's so stupid. Dan Loretto, my wife and I have introduced you guys to our young adult children as well, 23 and 21, because our examples, in your words, they will hopefully be able to have successful relationships moving forward.
I hope so.
You know, they say that it takes a village to raise a child.
It really does.
And we live in a society now where people have bigger homes and fewer family members in them.
Yep.
And that's because family members have become toxic, and like we don't have that sense of community as well as sense of family, because
Right.
there is a fucking difference. And there's a difference between being DNA bonded to somebody and having a true family scenario, because people have their own agendas. And when there's less abundance and there's more need for each other to survive, a lot of that fuckery doesn't happen. So when you go to places like Hawaii, because there's less land on the islands, people are building up now. So like if you own a house out there and your kids live with you and your kids want to own their own house, they just build up onto the second floor and then third, and they build up. And depending on where you're on the island, the houses are multicolored. Like
That's crazy.
It's weird the way that it looks. But when you have somebody who's got, and obviously I don't know if they're 23 and 21-year-old live there, but when you have that type of tight community, and then you have somebody like us on the internet that's showing love and communication and skills, that solidifies that community mindset for me, because we are a community taking care of each other.
Right.
And it's beneficial for all of us. Obviously, we get something out of this. We also learn from it, but we're creating change in that aspect. And, you know, for us to affect somebody that's in their 20s, like their early 20s,
That could change everything about their life.
It could, because their life is, you know, they're less than a quarter of a century old. They're still very young. I think you're a child still in your 20s, like early 20s, 21, 22, 23.
Right.
Unless you got out way early as a teenager, because most people who are in their 20s are still living at home. And I think that until you've been on your own for 4 or 5 years, you're not really there yet. You know what I mean? Jasmine said, honestly, thank you guys for providing the tools for me to use in order to be a better person. You know, she said that that she never thought she would have a... Jasmine, I'm totally throwing your fucking shit under the bus. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it anyways. I respect you and like, you know, you're family to us, so I'm going to do this. And I think that you did it on a live stream, so I think it's okay to do this.
Right. It was the live stream or the Discord.
But she said that she never saw herself being in a traditional relationship, and she has one now, and she's happier than she's ever been.
And I missed that wherever it was said, and you read it to me, and I was like, I fucking love that.
Right. It's gangster, right?
It really is. Your life is never going to be what you planned it to be.
No, it's not.
It really never is. But that is the happiest you are ever going to be when you live that unexpected life. Wild.
Yep.
I love that for her.
Paige Kane said, this is needed. It took Chris saying it for my husband to hear it. We are both putting in the work now. I'm assuming that's the accountability thing. Yep. It's Jerk, but with a Z. You're spot on. Fuck yeah. Her last name, Michelle Zirk.
Zirk.
Jerk with a Z.
Okay. She had that ready.
Maybe.
No, I bet she says that a lot to people.
Oh, yeah, probably. Probably.
Yeah.
Her last name is spelled Zierk. I'm willing to bet most people say Zierk or Zierk because they want to add instead of just trying to go with it. You don't say receive or any kind of weird thing when you say receive. You know what I mean? Like the CEI is I don't know. It made sense to me. I didn't think I was being special there, but
Right.
Jillian 999. I'm so glad that I came across your guys' podcast. I'm starting to take accountability for my BPD and PTSD and am in the middle of postpartum. Fuck. You got an alphabet soup of shit going on over
Yeah,
there.
that's a lot.
My husband and I are on a better track because of you guys. So then, if you're still going through postpartum, I would recommend that you let your husband see what postpartum depression looks like without showing him. Get on the internet, pull up YouTube, and let him understand the chemical imbalances, because if he's a man, he understands male hormones. He understands what testosterone does and what estrogen can do to a woman, blah, blah, blah. But you don't realize how fucking off your hormones are after you have a baby. And that's part of the postpartum depression, is that your body's trying to regulate the hormones because you just had a child.
They're all out of whack.
And I, as a man, it took me a whole lot of research to understand how fucked up your body are after babies. And that changes the way you handle situations when you know that it's not. Granted, women can use that and manipulate the situation and be like, well, I've got postpartum, so it's okay for me to be hormonal and blah, 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 blah.
Right. You have to accept me treating you like this.
Right. Yep. Jen A said, ha, 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 my husband hated Chris. That still makes me laugh. I'm used to being hated. I'm okay with it. It doesn't faze me much.
Yeah.
I sleep really good at night. I have a really nice bed. I have purple pillows that I lay on. I have a fine woman that I can fucking scoop and hold, and her booty is all up on me. I sleep,
Extra warm.
I sleep really good at night. So knowing that you guys hate me doesn't faze me at all.
Yeah.
I'm not losing sleep over that, I promise.
Samesies.
Jessica Potter. Piotr? Piotr. I'm a child. I'm sorry. It's spelled Potter, but Peotter. So how is that pronounced?
My mind went Poter.
Piotr? See, I'm not good at this, guys. I never thought I would even consider the thought of having a traditional style marriage. Things have changed so much in my mind in the past month or so, thanks to the two of you. Are you in a traditional relationship now?
And here we are.
Or are you looking for one because of us? How dope would it be if you and I were the reason, and like people like Life of Baker on TikTok and people like that are the reason that traditional marriages come back?
Oh,
that would be gangster.
I would love that.
Piotr. AJ said Piotr is right.
Word.
I'm getting. I'm.
You're doing great.
I'm
yeah.
a nameologist.
Is that what it's really called?
No. Do you remember that from Boondock Saints? When he said the guy's name and he was like, holy shit, no one ever gets that. And he's like,
oh, yeah.
I'm a nameologist.
I do remember that. That movie was amazing.
Yeah. Smecker.
They really named him that.
Kylie.
That's like one of my top 5 movies.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
What are your top 5? Because you've had expanded movie.
I know. There's a lot happening.
Should we do an updated 40 questions?
I think we should.
Okay, then save it, because I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Kylie Ann Tuttle said, my husband and I are both 21, and I have come across your content. We love you and your content you provide. I can't wait to see what we will be like later in life because of your advice and knowledge. You are going to... your life is going to be the outcome of your work.
Yep.
And at 21 years old, you guys are young as fuck. You got a whole life ahead of you, and you are going to have some rough spots that are going to really fucking test you.
The choices you make now are going to affect you in 20 years.
Yep.
So right now is the time to start planting the seeds of what you want in your future.
Yep.
Don't miss opportunities because you want to go out and party, or you want to go spend time with friends, or you want to spend 6 hours playing video games instead of going to a job interview.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot in that. You know, I'm seeing a trend now on social media where people are like, you should party in your young years while you still can because you're not going to enjoy it when you're older and blah, 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 because you live in a different life.
Right.
I vehemently disagree with that. I think that you should work as hard as you fucking can when you're younger so that you can enjoy that shit when you're older, because it is a lot fucking harder when you're in your 40s and 50s to grind than it was when you were in your 20s and 30s. You posture yourself to enjoy your later years, because even if that means you got to work for 30 years to have 20 years of downtime, or even 10 years, you don't know when you're going to die, but you want to put yourself in a position to really truly be able to enjoy your quality of life. And if you're both 21 years old and you guys are grinding now and going through the trials and tribulations of being poor together, when you finally have something and that money's good and those worries are no longer there, your life is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I promise you, anyone watching this, when your finances get fucked up, your relationship's going to get strained. Financial burdens will absolutely change the way that your life is. Fucking sucks. Mr. B, do you have any episodes about very selfish partners? Do we have any episodes about that?
I mean, you could say to an extent that almost every email is about a selfish partner.
Yeah.
So I need to know, what degree of selfishness are we talking about? Are they going out constantly and you're home taking care of children all day and you don't have any free time? Are they selfish in the sense that they're not spending time with you and they'd rather be on the video game? Are they alcoholics?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I need more on that because they're very selfish partners. I mean, everybody's selfish to an extent. That's why we have such a hard time with the term narcissist.
Yeah.
Theoryman Dan said, would I be a derogatory term for weenie to try and plug my smoke shop? No, you wouldn't. If you guys are fucking paying super chats and you want us to plug your business, you're paying me for it. It's called advertising dollars. You could do that shit, save it, and write that shit off on your taxes and marketing.
That's smart.
I mean, you could, because technically you're paying somebody to
Right.
advertise your shit on the internet. Audrey Couture, my boyfriend and I are both 26 and 25. So, okay. So you're not both. You're 26 and he's 25. Or the other way around. Being together for 6 years, your podcast has changed our ways to see our relationship and started our healing. I love that.
Yes.
You guys, I'm starting to accept the compliments of all of this because I had a very hard time with it in the beginning because I'm not doing anything. I'm spending time with my wife and I'm just happy to be recording it. And all I'm doing is sharing the shit that I've read in books and things that we have done through trial and error that have worked for us.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I'm not in your living room having these arguments with your partners trying to figure out your shit. You are. So the entire time that we've been doing this, when people have been like, thank you, I'm like, I haven't done the work. Don't thank me. Like, I'm not fucking doing this. You are. But I think that part of that comes from me wanting you to take the accountability and realize that you're a badass. Like,
Right.
you have the ability to change your fucking future by just doing the work. And I want that. And I want people to see that. And I think that's why I've had such a hard time, but I'm learning to accept that people have gratitude for me and I should just be gracious and accept that with gratitude, grace and go, you know? It's still difficult.
It's a very good lesson to learn.
You think so?
Yeah. Accepting things with grace.
Yeah. I struggle with ego.
Yeah.
Like I really do. I that whole ego thing is a big deal to me. We jokingly, well, not jokingly, we did King Chris and Queen Peaches in the Discord chat because we are chess players and like there's a whole lot of symbolism there. And I did that and it's been eating at me since I did it. I did it as like an ode to our logo that we created and like all of that. And I really wanted it to be a thing. But every time I logged into Discord and saw my name and people tagging me, I felt like calling myself King Chris in the Discord and having other people having to at me and do that. Like, I had to change my name.
Yeah.
It was becoming too much. Like, it was actually weighing on me. I was laying in bed thinking about it, and like I was losing sleep over the fact that was developing
An ego.
Yeah, I can't do that. It bothers
I get
me.
that.
Taylor Martinez wrote, my husband and I got married at 18, and 5 years later, because of y'all, we're finally learning how to effectively communicate. So look, at 18 years old, you're a child still.
Oh, yeah.
We live in a world where you don't really become an adult until, like I said, later in life when you're on your own and you're paying bills and doing the thing. So
When you are surviving on your own and you're maintaining and you're well and you are healthy,
right.
that's adulting.
So at 23 years old, they're both 23. You guys are learning by trial by fire on how to do things. Nobody teaches you how to communicate. You learn your communication and your behavioral traits from your parents. And if you have somebody in a relationship that had a really healthy childhood and somebody that didn't, you're never going to mesh because you have different life experiences up until that point and you still have maturing to do. So taking the tools that we give for you guys to effectively communicate with each other is fucking huge. And you're doing it now.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to do the work in your 30s and 40s and have to go through the 7-year itch and the roommate phase and all that bullshit because you're learning it while you're young still. And you guys are going through that trial by fire at 23 years old. You guys are young. I guarantee you're not fucking balling the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Good for you. Jenna Ardito. Let me know if I got that one right. Ardito. Ardito? We'll see. You did all the work and all the research, spent hundreds on books and information, and now you are sharing the compiled info for us. You did more than you know. Right, but I didn't do it for you guys. Call a spade a spade. I did that shit to make my life better because I felt like a fucking failure as a human being.
Right.
Because I didn't have a backbone and I failed my last marriage and because I didn't know how to talk to somebody and like I couldn't communicate. I did all of that work to be a better man so that my life would get better. And when I realized how much I didn't fucking know, I want to share that shit.
Right.
I want people to have a dope life. I fucking love my life. I haven't been depressed in years. It's been fucking years. And I lived for 6 years of my life in a miserable depression where I wanted to end myself, Control-Alt-Delete every fucking day. And it has been years since I have felt that. And it comes down to knowing how to talk to you and like how to navigate my life. I have a system now. I have people around me that I truly believe care for me. And it's because I know how to talk to them and let them know what's going on when it's happening. I don't know. Jessica Piotr said, it's not just about the information you guys tell us, it's the way you tell us. You make it fun and you use situations and metaphors to help us, help things stick and makes us actually want to be better.
That's dope because half the shit that I think of like the metaphors and whatnot,
Yeah.
that is in the moment.
You always pause. You do it a lot when we're recording. You're like, did that make sense? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
And I do cut some of it out because not the metaphors, but you asking that because it sounds like you're unsure of what you said or you just need that validation.
It's not that I'm unsure. I just need to know like it makes sense to somebody else.
I get that.
Because something that makes sense to me might sound like absolute nonsense to somebody else and it won't click for them.
I get that.
So that's why I asked.
My thing is I ask if it makes sense because I know how I feel about what I'm trying to say, but sometimes I can't articulate that feeling. And that's what it's more important to me that you understand what I'm feeling when I'm saying the metaphor versus the bee lands on the flower. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah. Bethany Baker said, Peaches,
Yes.
are there books or convo topics you'd suggest for getting into your feminine? I'm struggling so hard with it. And D, so deserves that respect. SO. D is her SO.
Oh.
And I'm
so
almost positive she's a Discord member.
I'm taking in a relationship because there's an SO. Read The Surrendered Wife and The Empowered Wife.
Do you really think that helps you get into your femininity, or do you think that it just really helps you serve your husband? Because you are serving yourself too. Sorry, go ahead.
So yes. Something that I view that I'm able to do that makes me appear more feminine is the way that I'm able to graciously receive things. And that's something that I understood after reading one of those books. The way that I articulate myself to you and the way that, like, say I want something in life and I come to you. If I'm stoned, it might sound a little bit stupid, but I know what I want.
Okay.
So if I want to buy clothes, I'm like, hey, babe, I'm going to need like $500 for clothes. I'll let you know. Last time I didn't do that. But
Right. Well, I was actually waiting on you to finish because
Yeah.
that you do that. And I know that you got that from that book because I listened to it. I listened to it on the way to the camera store one day and was telling you how amazing it was. That was one of the things that I got from it. And that's women need to be very direct with their men. We don't need the if, ands, or buts. We just need to know what you want to make you happy.
Right.
And you heard that. And now you don't give me, when you actually apologize, when you give me a whole lot of useless information, like, I didn't need to get in all that with you. I'm sorry. You didn't need all the details. And I'm like, you're right. I don't. You need money. How much do you need? That's what I need to know. Like, and I was able to make that work.
Yeah.
Literally yesterday.
I'm more direct with the things that I want. So there's not a whole long drawn out 5-minute story about why I want it or why I need it. It's just, this is what I need. This is how much it is. Or, I miss you. We're watching Fight Club tonight. I think that directness from a woman is feminine. I think it's also sexy because there's no guessing game.
I fucking agree. Ladies, I swear to you, your man does that. We don't think that's sexy.
Yeah.
Us having to guess what you want and trying to play that game like we should know is not a turn on. None of us enjoy that. It's fucking annoying. Mm-hmm. So when you're very direct and you tell me what you want and I can make that happen, I feel like a fucking winner. Like,
yeah,
it goes a long way. And let me tell you what, it removes a whole lot of guessing games and a whole lot of stress. If you just tell me what you want and I can make that fucking happen, or be like, I need 2 weeks and I can make that happen, I still feel like I'm winning. Mm-hmm. That I promise you guys, that makes a huge fucking difference in your relationship.
And I think showing gratitude the way that I do. Like, in that instance, if you say I need 2 weeks, I'll be like, thanks, babe.
Yeah.
I can always count on you for getting things done.
Right, because that's very different than, well, why do I gotta wait 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I really need it now, or whatever. Because you are understanding in that as well. That that goes a long way. You really think you got all of that from those 2 books? Like, I know those books
Yeah.
have value. I think I'm biased towards Laura Doyle because of her pyramid scheme fucking coaching thing. That like I view her books differently. I know there's value in those books. We recommend them all the time, even still. But I always put the caveat, like, just so
Yeah.
you know, she's got a bullshit pyramid scheme coaching class, like, and that's just how I view it. Other people may
Right.
not see it that way. That's a me thing, but
Yeah, I would say that I learned those from those books. But then again, like I read things differently than people do and I interpret things different than people do. Like the split the difference, you said that you don't see how it could apply to what we do with relationships. And I'm already like 20 pages in and I have like almost 2 pages of notes.
right. Well, when I read that book to understand dealing with people, and
Right.
it wasn't from a relationship standpoint. Like I said, I read it a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I read that as a self-help book.
Mm-hmm.
I view that as a self-help book because it's going to help me dealing with people in business and leveling up. And yes, that can absolutely tie into relationships, but because that wasn't in the forefront of my brain, that's not where my brain went with that.
Right.
But you're right, and that's why I ask people to send those emails and tell us.
Yeah. I'm actually getting ready to get a printout from, it's called The Lessons of Waco, and how negotiations failed in that scenario and how all negotiations are emotionally charged and how every argument that you have with your partner where you want to avoid losing your 1 point to get to an equal gain, you are holding your partner emotionally hostage.
I'm excited for that Waco document. I know it's
Yeah.
37 pages, but I remember Waco.
Yeah.
You know what Waco stands for?
No.
We ain't coming out.
Wow. Oh my God, is that not what it was really?
Waco's a city in Texas. We ain't coming out.
That makes sense.
I can't.
Was that after?
Yeah.
That's dark. I mean, that's correct. It's accurate. They made sure they didn't come
That
out.
shit's funny.
I mean, what kind? That's kind of like the best tribute.
I know that we watched the Netflix version of that where they talked about it, but there was actually a remake. Like somebody made a documentary about it that was like a live action, like a movie, a TV show. It was like 4 parts or something. It was really, really good.
I
And
would
now
love
they're
to
getting
watch
ready
that.
to do a part 2. It's on Amazon.
Oh,
And
shit.
you may have to buy it, but it's on Amazon because
Yeah.
they're getting ready to do the second season of it where they're like talking about the trials and everything that happened afterwards. Yep. Waco, Texas.
I'm excited to do the side shows as the books.
Yeah.
I am. I think the way that I analyze things, I'm able to like apply situations is neat.
I think it will give people a different side of us,
Yeah.
which will be good for me because the emails get old.
They're very draining.
Yeah, I was gonna say trying, but yeah, they are. They fucking are because it's the same. And a lot of the people are like, I've been watching you for a long time, and then they ask a question that we've answered 30 fucking times over 14 emails. Like, you haven't been watching. You just saw us on TikTok, and you want to act like you're a long time listener. Just be
Right.
honest. It's like your kids saying you got 2 wonderful kids. No, you don't. You got an asshole, and you got a good kid. Like both of your kids are not fucking angels. You can portray that if you want to, but we know better. We have kids.
Yeah.
Marlena Gray, the surrendered wife, has opened my eyes and see things I was doing that wasn't healthy to my marriage. It's a true blessing to read.
It is. I highly recommend it. I agree with you on the stance of Laura Doyle. Makes me a little uncomfortable, but that book is definitely wealth of information.
Right. You know, with that whole, I call it a pyramid because if you're going to spend $26,000 to do a coaching course with somebody for the course of a year, and you're doing it based off of their books and their teachings, you would think that for that kind of money that you would be working with that person because you're getting an hour once a week with a coach to learn how to be a Laura Doyle certified coach, but you're not learning from her. And that's where my issue is because you're learning from other people. If you're going to spend that kind of money, she should be the one teaching the course because...
Right. It should be like 20 people in a group.
Right.
She's handling whatever it is, the seminar or...
Right. I understand that she's also busy and she's writing books and does all the things that she does. I just feel like that's... And like, I have money.
$26,000 is a lot of money.
For most people, it really fucking is. And it's a school thing. Like, people are treating it like tuition. She's selling the entire coaching course. She's selling the entire coaching course on selling the coaching to other people who need it. And their entire premise is that they want to end the divorce rate. And that's their whole spiel. Like their shtick is that their goal is to end the divorce rate. And if that's the case, you wouldn't be charging $26,000 for coaching.
It gives me very much like Mary Kay vibes.
Yeah. Avon. Yeah. The more you sell, the more you make.
Right.
And that's actually what they talk about in the pre-seminar that I took.
The more clients you have, the faster you'll make your money back.
Yep, she actually said that. They actually said that in the seminar. I don't like that.
Yeah.
They're like, if you do so many clients a week at such a price, you'll make your money back in a year and blah, 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 blah.
And like, everything after that is just income.
Right. But
when really it's not, half of your earnings is going to have to go back to them or whatever.
Well, yeah, they don't do that. Once you have the coaching thing, you have it. But that's but still, like, if your goal is to end divorce and you're having other people coach the course, why don't you pay the other people that are doing the coaching, take a small percentage off the top and do more than 10 people in a year? Because you're not doing the work. Somebody else is doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to the men and women group. Like, I really think that as we get our shit together and we're able to start doing those groups, there's going to be a whole lot more benefit. I'm getting value in the men's group.
Yeah.
No bullshit. Like, I fucking unloaded on those guys the other morning, and they were every man in there had my fucking back. They were all like, "Bro, you got this. Like, it's just, you know, you're going through a bad day right now. You're being attacked. We'll pray for you." Like, it was good. Like, I felt good after I left the group, and I went about my day and I did my cardio, and like, it helped me think about the fact that there are other men out there that are going through the shit that I'm going through, and like, I fucking need that community.
I love that.
And I got it now. You know, I've been talking about that for a long time.
Yeah.
I really have, and I have it now.
And you've cultivated it.
Yeah. I'm still cultivating it. And we're going to get to a point where people are going to get weeded out of that group. And I know that. Mm-hmm. But right now it's so small that like it's not, you know.
Right.
I don't know. Theory Man Dan said, "Why, yes, AJ, it is a shop. Theory Man's on the book. And I have to say it like that or it won't send. Peaches has a set on the way and I have all kinds of specials. Come see me. I love a challenge."
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm assuming I just plugged his business, but I don't know. Was that what I just did?
I think so.
It's Theory Man's on the book. And I have to say it like that or it won't send.
I don't know.
I don't get it. Peaches has a set on the way and I have all kinds of specials. Come see me. I love a challenge.
I don't know.
What does he do?
He creates
Is this another resin shop?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's for recreational activities.
Like, you mean like smoking?
Yes.
Oh. Well, for us it's medicinal.
Right, but I don't know if I can just outright say.
I mean, you could.
Can I say marijuana?
Yeah, and I mean, we have our medical cards.
Okay.
Legally, we could talk about that. They can't kick us off about that. We're talking about medicine.
Okay.
It's bullshit that that's the case. It really is the bullshit that you can't do that. Mm-hmm. Especially, I understand that it's illegal some in certain states, but you should be able to talk freely about that shit.
Right.
All right, Misty Lead, $4.99. Sometimes I feel like when I'm being direct with exactly what I want, I am not leaving room for what he wants, if that makes sense. Love your podcast.
Well, are what you guys wanting conflicting?
Right.
If it's conflicting and you're overpowering him and not giving him the option or a compromise where you both get what you want, you are certainly overpowering him.
Right. In that scenario, yes. If your wants are what you want him to do, then you are removing his freedom of choice and you are trying to control that situation. Mm-hmm. You telling your husband that you want a new dress is very different than you telling him that you want him to do the dishes every night of the week and cook and clean. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same thing. And this falls into what we were talking about in words of affirmation, maybe, that love makes requests, not demands.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
I'm trying.
I couldn't tell
you. You did all the research. I'm like your sidekick over here. Like,
my notebook's all the way over there. It's somewhere within the love language. Yes, that's correct.
Oh, I see why he said that. AJ just corrected me. So it's a shop. Theory Man's on Facebook, and I have to say it that way or it won't let me send it. Peaches hat. Okay, so that on the book is Facebook. So you can search Theory Man's to find his business on Facebook.
Gotcha. That makes a lot more sense.
Thank you for filling me in, AJ. What are you doing?
I'm getting tagged in a lot of shit on Discord.
Gotcha.
So I'm just trying to clear out the notifications.
Bethany Baker said, I modified y'all's weekly check-ins to little mini daily check-ins while I'm doing my acts of service for my significant other. It's been amazing communicating with him. When you get to the point that your check-ins are happening and they don't feel like check-ins and it's normal conversation, you're going to have a very different life. We said this before. Like, we haven't done a check-in in a while. We've talked about implementing it again just because there might be things that need to happen, but we just have conversations throughout the day, and I think that's beneficial. So, all right. So we are 9:40. We are
Oh my God, it's
almost 3
10
hours
o'clock.
in. Yeah.
We've been doing this for 3 hours.
Minus the disruption that we had. Yeah. We started at 7. It's almost 10 o'clock. So I have no idea how many people are even watching. We've just been answering questions and flying off the side.
From what I see, it's like 270.
Yeah. We should have ended this like an hour ago. Somebody from the men. Oh, Zeke said, to be better, whether the men's group fizzles out or not, we got your back, Chris.
I love
And then
that.
somebody out wrote beneficial.
I will never live that down.
Nope. I mean, it could be worse. It could be way worse.
Like what?
I don't know, but it could be.
Yeah, it could be.
All right, guys, it's 9:40.
I'm exhausted.
We are calling it a night. I don't think Fight Club and edibles are going to happen. Fight Club could still happen, but without the edibles, because if I eat that at this point, I'm not staying up. So, and I want to do cardio tomorrow morning. So,
okay. I need to do arms tomorrow.
I also need to do that, but I think I'm supposed to be doing that with Sean tomorrow. He had all that dental work, so I need to message him when we get done too. So, with that being said, guys, thank you for sticking around for us for 3 hours. If you did, it definitely helps. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel yet, do so. Hit the notification bell because we will be doing more lives during the weeks. If you did not join Discord yet or Patreon, you should check that out. And we still have shirts left if you have not ordered them. I feel like such a twat plugging all of that. I feel like alms for the poor. Like I'm begging, but it is just a gentle reminder to help you guys to do the things. And if you find value in what we do, for God's sake, share this shit, because the more people that find the content, the faster our channel grows, and we are trying to get to 100,000.
That would be so dope.
Yep. With that being said, we will see you guys on the next one.
Toodles. Oh, my ears hurt so bad.